Sup guys, Fat Archon here, bringing another very special episode of ranking the very best Chaos Space Marine units and models in Warhammer 40k. I'm still relatively new to streaming, so if you guys notice any issues with the mic or stream quality, definitely let me know. Do my best to fix it. This will basically be a continuation of yesterday's video. I did the same thing for Chaos Demons, so if you guys are into Chaos at the moment, be sure to check that video out if you haven't already. As usual, if you haven't already, do give the stream or the video give it a thumbs up, or consider subscribing if you haven't already. Genuinely means a boatload to me. It's so awesome to like come home and see more subs on the channel. So really appreciate it. Anybody who wants to do that, you guys have all been so freaking amazing. I appreciate you. By the way, I see some faces from yesterday. Nice to have you guys here. Appreciate you all coming along. Anybody new to the stream, appreciate you coming along as well. Let me make sure this is going. Okay, good. Want to make sure it's going live. Be sure to say hi. You know, drop a like or whatever. For sure, as we go along, if you guys got any questions at all about like anything, mainly chaos, but anything, you're welcome to drop me a question. And definitely help me with ranking the units. So if you think I rank something too high or too low, definitely put in your input. I will definitely, you know, keep it in mind as we rank this stuff. We can work together as a team to rank the coolest looking models. Speaking of, we are talking about freaking Chaos Space Marines here. I genuinely think they're one of the coolest ranges ever, like, way cooler than regular Space Marines. Those guys are generic, like, who would want to play that? So, these guys, I'm probably going to rank a lot of them fairly high. We'll see as we go along. Some of them do need a refresh. I renamed it from Goofy to needs a refresh, because there's definitely a few kits that need it. But, yeah, disclaimer, talking about Chaos Space Marines, I freaking love these guys, so don't be surprised if I rank them pretty well, deservedly so. Last quick channel update before we get into it. I actually have a giveaway going. I have a contest going. I'm actually giving away a freaking Greater Brass Scorpion of Khorne. A pretty awesome model that we're actually going to rank here in a little bit. So maybe I'll have to rank it like extra high. But check out so after the stream, check out my videos. I believe it ends in just a couple days. So definitely check it out. Super ultra easy to join. The video is really short. Go ahead and do it. I do have some runner-up prizes as well. So not just the Greater Brass Scorpion and Khorne, they might, I'm not promising nothing, but they might be Forge World as well. Definitely check out that video, if you haven't already. Anyways, like I said, good to have you guys here. I'm kind of new to the streaming, but we did this yesterday and it turned out really freaking fun, so I'm hoping today will be the same. But yeah, let's hop right into it. Like I said, I love Chaos Space Marines, so this should be pretty easy to rank. So, to start off, we got Possessed. This might be a controversial take for me. So I do, from like a detail and technical point of view, yes, they're amazing. But something's just kind of off with them. This guy especially, his arm, I don't know if it's just like the paint job they did, but I'm not like too into that. This guy's arm too is just a little funky. It's too like, I don't know, soft or something like that. But then you do got like the dude in the middle who looks amazing. This guy, even though he's like arguably the most basic, I actually really like that guy. This guy, he's all right with the weird arms. So, don't get me wrong, they're amazing. They're excellent models, but just, I don't know, they could be better. So maybe this will be my first controversial take of the video, but I'm not going to put them like in S tier or anything. I think they're just good. They're just good. I wouldn't even put them in damn good. From a technical point of view, okay, maybe they could go in damn good, but for now, we'll put them top at good. Now, okay, talking about a good kit though, so Accursed Cultists, I freaking love this kit. This is one of my favorite recent kits to have come out. If you like Chaos and you're looking for a project to do and you don't already own these guys, 100%, man. They're not even that expensive. 55 bucks for GW prices isn't that bad at all. These guys are slick, especially the Torments. The Torments, like, super duper ultra pop. But even the, whatever the heck they're called, the small ones, even they look awesome. Like, look at this little, like, tentacle dude. Like, that's an awesome look right there. I love these guys so much. Francis says, weird how they're so demon-y compared to the 8-bound with allegedly 8 demons inside of them. Yeah, isn't that funny? I remember the first time I looked at the 8-bound too, I was like, huh, like, they kind of still just look like normal people, sort of. So yeah, I totally agree. The Possessed look more demonic than the 8-bound. Torment, like this guy especially, look at, like, whoever sculpted this, you are amazing. Look at how they did that. The demon popping out of the happy, like, this guy's even, like, happy about it. I love Chaos so much. And whatever these guys are called, this one's not the best one. I would say, like, the tentacle one is probably better. But either way, even these guys are awesome. Get this kit. If you don't already have it, get it. It's fairly cheap, too. Maybe you got a kid or something who's getting into Warhammer. Kids often do get drawn to Chaos. Like, the kid in me loves Chaos especially. Just get them this kit. They'll freaking love it. Even unpainted, they look freaking amazing. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to rank these guys really high. I think they do belong in S tier. I think they're one of the better kits that GW has done recently. So I'm tossing them up there. My list. Alright, next up we got, what are they called? The Dark Commune. I think these ones also are amazing. Some of them especially. So the guys in the back, they're like, you know, they're okay. They definitely look chaosy, so they got that. But like this dude with his freaking head being carried in front of him, I super duper love the banner bearer. I freaking think that is so amazing. Like that's a banner that you put on other models. You put on like your Chaos Knights or whatever. Can you imagine how sick that would look? So I am very pleased with this kit. Even the leader, she got a big old badonkadonk. I really love that. I forgot about that. She got a tentacle arm. Like the, just the character and the flavor that comes out of these guys is amazing. This one's probably my best one. So you got like the hooded, just like bitch, carrying around his master. Look at that. That is done so well with the candles and stuff. This too, I honestly, I think they belong in S tier. So yeah, I'm going to toss them up there. We'll see if we have to do like Demons and make another tier as we go on, but for now, yeah, man, those are such good kits. And again, really cheap. And also, both of these have amazing rules right now. These guys are very competitive. So if you're looking for, yeah, you need to add to your army, you don't already have them, 100%. Go out and get those guys. Don't even think about it. Alright, next up, we got regular cultist mob. Here, one second, I gotta blow my nose. Not so much blow, but sniffle. Anyways, so, cultists, they're, these guys actually, so I was thinking about it before the video, these guys are a bit too generic for my taste. These could go in, like, Kill Team, which, yeah, Kill Team sometimes has some cool-looking models, but these would be, like, the boring, like, baseline kit or whatever. And speaking of, I think, too, the other Kill Team box sets that they sell, I think you have way more fun using those and using them as cultists. They're not bad in the least bit, so, like, the masks are really tight. Some of the poses are pretty cool. I do like this pistol, dude, the muscle-bound pistol man. I do enjoy that. But I think they could be, like, more flavor. Like this guy. This guy's just super generic. Okay, sure, he's got, like, a metallic arm, which is kind of cool. But he needs, like, spikes coming out of him. He needs to, like, do like body horror stuff. He should be like branding himself with chaos marks all over his body and stuff. And yeah, so again, I think they could do way better. Funnily enough, I actually like the I think I like the discontinued cultists better. Back when they used to sell them in packs of 5, man, GW, go back to doing that. Those were like $15 or whatever. Those made perfect presents for like other 40k players. Like this guy. Again, generic. Got a cool blade, I'll give them that, but whatever. They do have great detail work, so like the scars and all that stuff. Yeah, I can get behind that. But overall, yeah, they're just going decent. I think they're just decent. They could have been way more flavorful. Not the worst, but not the best. Alright, next we got Mr. Warpsmith. So this is a fairly new sculpt. This is actually a like really new sculpt, if I'm not mistaken. They did pretty alright with him. I think he could look like more evil. Aside from, if you, like, covered up the face and I guess got rid of some of the spikes and obviously painted him, like, colorful, I think you could confuse him with a Tech Marine. So I kind of wish, maybe, sort of, wish he was more chaosy. That said, everything else about him is, like, top tier. The detail work is excellent. Somebody taught me yesterday, so apparently you can do a top view, so let's do it. Aha! Yeah, you can rotate up and down. That's crazy to me, how many photos they must have taken. But yeah, so I do love, like, his, from the back, he looks amazing. Even from the front, he's alright. Again, I just think, like, he'd use a little more pizzazz. I'm not going to say he's bad in the least bit. He is only $40 as well, which GW prices, that's really cheap. So he's a good model. If you don't already have him, he's a good one to add to the add to your collection. He is way better than the previous Warpsmith, the fine cast one. So definitely I'll give him that. So I'll just put him in good. I do think he's yeah, he's probably behind the possessed, honestly. Ooh, all right, we're getting on to some very good ones in my opinion. So this is a great kit. I preparing for this video, I'm like, oh, that's only $75. If you don't already have these, just buy 2 of these kits. Or preferably, actually, you'd want 3 of them. I guess it does get a little expensive there, but get 3 of these kits. So, all right, let's separate them out. So, Venomcrawler, first of all. They knocked it out of the park. Hey, Redu, welcome to you, man. I'm glad you can make it, brother. I mentioned earlier, but if you guys got any questions or definitely suggestions on how you'd rate these guys, be sure to pitch in. Venomcrawler, genuinely one of my favorite models GW has done in a long time. Like, for recent models, this is one of my favorite ones. It's actually relatively huge, like, for the price or whatever. They're pretty cheap on eBay. If I'm not mistaken, they're like 30 bucks each on eBay, which is like a steal. Go out and get these guys if you don't already have them. They're great on the tabletop. They've always been great. But look at, like, the detail work, the thought behind it, what is his theme? He's got a bunch of demonic energy in his belly that he, like, feeds to other chaos people or whatever. It's amazing. I wish I could zoom in, because, like, look, you got the tongues coming out, and you got the teeth, the back. Painting the flesh was really fun. Super cheap model. I'll probably mention a lot, and I already have, but, like, if you're looking for presents for other Chaos players, this thing is so cheap. Like, how could you not get this as a present for them? Even if they already own, like, 2 of them, get them a 3rd one, man. I already own 3. I would love to get another one of these. If you want to, like, give me a present for my birthday or something, give me a Venomcrawler. I'll be happy. Tough to paint. They can be tough to paint. They can be. I actually, especially my Chaos Space Marines, I actually speed painted them, kind of. So I did, like, the tabletop standard. So I spray painted them black, did the trim, did some of the highlights, like his tongue, and then you just wash them and then do some dry brushing. So they actually, I think they can look okay if you go kind of basic. Again, I've been painting since, like, the 90s or whatever, so I have, like, my technique down or whatever. So I could see, A, if you're, like, way better painter than me, so you don't want to just do tabletop standard, or B, if you're relatively new or whatever, I could see them being hard to paint, especially, like, we're not even at the Helldrake yet. You want to talk about hard to paint. Something I really like about the modern models, I mentioned this in the Chaos Demons, I love how GW has started doing the bases. Like, almost every base has, like, it's not even much, but, like, little rocks and outcrops and that sort of stuff. Adds so much flavor to it. What's cool, too, and what even I did, it makes it kind of easier to spice them up. Because it used to be, if you want to put a rock or bark or something, you'd have to, like, cut stuff and, like, mold them so they actually came at a good level. Nope. With this one, so I literally did it with my 2nd and maybe even my 3rd one. I just, like, took out this little beam and put in bark dust, took out that little rock, put in a real rock or whatever. Cool themes. I love their tentacles as well. You can use those on other models. That's what I ended up doing. So 1 or 2 of mine don't have the tentacles. People don't really notice it. And you can use them on other. I need to quit gushing over this guy. I've spent a lot of time on him, but he goes S tier in my eyes. Easy S tier. And in fact, honestly, I'm going to put him top of S tier. GW knocked it out of the park with that guy. Obliterators, though, so these guys are also slick. Really, like, come on. Who doesn't like these? Just when you consider the theme behind them and the lore, that alone, like, knocks them up. And then the look did pretty well. I will admit, they kind of got, the face is kind of funny. Because it's like a small head in a giant muscle-bound body. But then you look at this stuff, so it's like a face within a face. Truthfully, I never really noticed that. He's got the eyeballs coming off, so that's kind of cool. It's like he's mutating into his suit of armor, kind of. Francis says, oh my god, yeah. Francis says they got big old toes. You are not lying, sir. Those are, those are some elephant feet right there. This guy was very fun to paint. Kind of hard. It depends on how you like, skin tones or whatever. Again, I do the kind of easy stuff, so I just used, I think I did Rekarth Flesh, and then the Secret Weapon, guys. If you aren't already doing it, and you're not like a pro painter, you guys need to wash your models with Agrax Earthshade, especially Chaos. They're like dirty all the time, unless you're doing Emperor's Children or something. Wash them afterwards. So skin actually can be easy. Paint the skin tone, and then just wash it. Trust me, it'll look fantastic. I like this guy a boatload. Let's look at like, the weapons. It seems obvious to say that, but the weapons, I ended up cutting off the barrels on these, and for my Havocs, so I could have more autocannons. It worked perfect, I might add. And then I cut off the autocannon barrel and put on this guy. So that's a little tip for you, because they are monopose, and there's only 2 of them. You can totally spice them up if you take some time. What did I do with this guy? I feel like I messed with his heavy bolter, but either way, both of these are amazing models. I think they do, truthfully, they got the slightest bit of goof to them because of that head. I don't really like the head, and the poses could be slightly better. Everything else about them is excellent, so I'm going to put them in damn good. Maybe we'll bump them up later. Maybe if you guys have a different opinion, we can bump them up later, but for now, I think damn good, not excellent, though. Alright, next up, we got the baseline Legionaries, or Chaos Space Marines, apparently. So these are a relatively new sculpt, so that is cool. They're, like, bigger than they used to be. The old sculpts sucked. They, like, were really generic and barely even looked chaosy. So I do like these ones. A lot of them are pretty good, but some of them are a little iffy. Let's see. Fired Oa says, I remember someone got 2 kits of them. Is it possible to switch the arms around so when you run 4 of them, they look unique? So no. Obliterators are kind of a pain in the butt to like kit bash or like change. Because, yeah, look at how big they are and how big of connections they got. So if you were to try to, like, cut off the arm, nah, it's not really going to work. If you're really good with green stuff, yes, you could totally do, like, it'd be cool to get, like, Hellbrute tentacles, maybe, and, like, do those off the side. Something like that could look cool. But no, these guys are actually, they're, like, very monopose and very hard to kit bash. That's my biggest thing that I don't like about them, because I think I own 6. And so, yeah, man, you got 2 squads of identical-looking guys. You can at least change the barrels and stuff. That's pretty easy. But the rest of it, not so much. Chaos Space Marines, so I'm of 2 minds of these guys. On the one hand, I love some of them. So, like, the leader, I think, looks amazing with the hair. Like, they did really good on that. But then this guy, I should love him because he's got, like, the standard or whatever. I actually don't. Maybe, okay, so maybe it's just this picture because there are different standards you can do for each Chaos God. But that one just doesn't look right, and his pose just doesn't look right. Like, in person, I looked at all my models before doing this video, and this one stood out to me as, like, you just look weird. Some of the other ones are kind of generic. Like, this guy, kind of moving, like, it's got a weird pose, honestly. I know that they're going for the movement, but I don't really like it. That said, like, there's plenty of ways to change these guys. They got plenty of different loadouts to choose from. The detail work is excellent. They are larger as well. Like I said, the older ones are way too small. Some of that detail, so like the backpacks are amazing. Some of the helmets are awesome. Some of the helmets, I end up, when I kit bash like my Chaos Lord or whatever, you just pick out some of the cooler looking helmets, and mainly the Chosen kit's probably better for that. So like I say, I'm of 2 minds. Some of these are like excellent, and then some of them are just like could be way better, could be way more chaosy. I will say too, I wish they were more like flamboyant, in the sense of like, yeah, man, you need like giant spikes coming off of you. So you've been fighting 10,000 years, like you should be much more corrupted than you look. This guy is sick though. I freaking love that freaking his bolter right there. That is like such a good look. I end up using this guy for my Havoc leader because come on, that's sick. I would put that on every model if I could. Mr. Thunder says you love the Kill Team Legionaries. Yes, those ones are pretty slick. We'll kind of get to them in a bit, but yeah, that's the kit I end up using, especially the guy with the Baleful Tome or whatever, the book on his back. Mwah, that guy's excellent. So, for regular Legionaries, honestly, I think they're just decent. I'll put them above Cultists. Like, they're top of decent. But I could see some people put them in good, because they are quite detailed, and again, recent or whatever. But I think GW should have gone a lot more wild with them. Again, we're talking about soldiers who have been fighting 10,000 years and corrupted by chaos. I would hope they were a bit more chaosy. Alright, next up, we got Terminators. So I love these guys. How could you complain about these guys? They got super awesome mask. The tusk is like, that would be kind of tough to pull off. I would be like, if I was the artist, and like, yeah, put some elephant tusk on them. I'd be like, how am I gonna do that? No, they pulled it off pretty good. They do have like different ones you can choose from as well. I think they got one that's broken. That would totally be the way I would do it. And if it didn't have it, I'd cut it off and make one broken. But like, they're awesome. In person, they look pretty awesome too. I will admit, like many models in 40k, they're kind of smaller than you imagine. They're not that much bigger than Legionaries. But I freaking, GW did very freaking good on these guys. They are more flamboyant, like I was hoping, so it's not that much, but they do have the spikes, and again, the tusk. They look awesome with the heavy weapons. They're really easy to magnetize, so be sure you're magnetizing them. Yeah, I like these guys all around. You do the helmetless one is like your Chaos Lord. They're easy to run that way. Again, they're easy to magnetize, which I like a lot. Painting the fur was fun. Painting the skulls, always fun. Who doesn't like painting skulls? All around, I'm happy with these guys. Look, you got like the Space Marine helmets on there. A lot of like charm and flavor coming out of these guys. I do think they go quite up there. Do they go in S tier or damn good? I'm gonna be real with you guys. In person, I think they could be better. I think they could be better in person. When I looked at my models over there, I did, like, one of the things, like, you know, you still look a lot like a normal Terminator, kind of. So for now, hopefully it's not too controversial, I'll put them in top of, very tip-top of damn good. Again, maybe at the end when we go through it, maybe they go up higher, but for now, that's how I put them. Havocs! Alright, this is another unit that I'm of 2 minds of. again, in person, they look awesome because they're like slightly bigger, and they do have bigger bases, which like does make them stand out. They are a more recent sculpt, so again, we got the cool like base effects and whatnot, which is awesome. The weapons look like tip top, like how did the guns period look tip top, but what really holds them back is this goofy pose. The holding one arm out, that is a terrible pose. I do not like that at all, especially if you run multiple kits of them. So like, they only come with 2 of each weapon. So here's a pro tip for you, buy 2 of these kits and then you can have 4 of each weapon. Or better yet, just kit bash with your other Chaos Space Marines and put them on a 32 or whatever size, 40 millimeter base or whatever, pro tip. But when you run multiples, these guys stand out like a sore thumb, huge, with that stupid arm just hanging out. For the one guy, okay, I can see it. With the las cannon, that makes sense. But you're just holding out a missile, like, come on, dude. I don't know, put your hand on your hip or something. Like, I don't care. But that stands out way too much and doesn't look good. Everything else, though, so like this guy especially, I love that freaking, it's got the arm right there, the mechanical arm. I love the chainmail they all got going on. I do like their armor. It's like, you know, extra armored. They're kind of like Devastators or whatever. They are bigger, like I mentioned, they're like 10% bigger or something, it feels like, than the others. Again, those weapons, the detail on like just the missile launcher looks excellent. These are some stuff. So on the Obliterators, just cut off that barrel right there and put it onto your Obliterator if you wanted to, and then turn this into a chain cannon if you wanted to. Also, too, that would look sick, wouldn't it? Chain cannon with big ass shells coming in. Again, so I'm of 2 minds. I think they're both excellent, and then these 2 kind of ruin it. I'll still put them pretty up there. I almost want to put them damn good, because they are cool. I do like them a lot, but no, I'll just put them in good tier. Do I like them more than Possessed? No. Man, they really killed it with that stupid arm coming out. You certainly could kit bash that with something else and make it look cooler, from like the Legionary kit or whatever, but could be better. By the way, Thunder, I meant to say hi. Nice to see you here again. I know you were here yesterday, so I'm glad you can make it, brother. All right, next up we got the Sorcerer. If I'm not mistaken, so I don't think I own this one, surprisingly. If I'm not mistaken, this guy still uses the old scaling, so I think he's too small. If I'm not mistaken, if one of you guys own this guy, is he smaller than the others? I feel like he is. Yet again, maybe it'll be a common thing. I'm of 2 minds of this guy. On the one hand, I do like his look, like the cape, he's very detailed. On the one hand, very detailed. Excellent staff, I love it. The backpack, come on, dude, that backpack is slick. The thing on his hand is alright. But his face, I don't really like it. It's not bad, it has great detail work for sure. That's one of the better faces I can think of. But, I don't really like it. I don't think he's, like, as foreboding as he could be. He kind of just looks like, yeah, like an evil sorcerer or whatever. I want him to be like, nah, this dude's sliced up like 6,000 dudes and will blow up your mind if you look at him wrong or whatever. That's kind of what I would like. Then again, look at that backpack. That is excellent. I almost, $33, I'll probably buy this guy after this episode, even though I'm talking kind of smack about him. By the way, okay, here's a weird quirk about me, a weird anecdote. When I get into an army, I have like a weird OCD thing with owning every single model in the army. So I'll never forget regretting my decision to play Chaos Demons. Because once I realized how many models I need, I was like, oh no. But anyways, weird anecdote. So this guy, he's alright. He's alright, but I think, for me personally, I just don't really like him that much. Personally, I'm going to put him top of decent. I think, too, if I'm right, and he does have the older scaling and he's smaller, I think that would hold him back quite a bit, because he'll stand out pretty, and not in a good way. So I'll put him in decent for now, top of decent. Alright, we got the man with the pimp cane, Fabius Bile, Fabulous Bill, only $45, and yet another excellent kit. This guy's really fun to paint too, because he's got like the leather and stuff, so he'll should look way different than the rest of your army, so it's cool. You get to try like new techniques, new colors and stuff you might not always do. He's also got his assistant who looks awesome. Look at that base, how they did he's pulling out the, whatever the gland is called from a Space Marine. Like, excellent work. I love this guy. He's got the freaking needle stuck in him. Like, Fabius Bile doesn't give a damn, dude. He wants this guy to, like, do his job. So, of course, he's going to stick him with whatever makes him do it. I love that base so much. That's a base you could use on a different model, too. Obviously, it's kind of small, but put on a bigger base. You know, so fix there. Fabulous Bill himself. Come on, dude. You got the old pimp, the old bald pimp. Excellent detail work. That backpack with the flesh popping out, the arms. I will admit, the arms are kind of brittle. Be careful with those. Mine snapped off, and they're kind of a pain to put back on. I think he used to be fine cast, and in that case, he was like especially hard. Look at that Pimp Cane. This guy is so unique. I can't think of a single other model that's anywhere near this guy. He's just like exuding flavor and charm or whatever. I love him a lot. I don't see how anybody could look at this model and be like, yeah, he looks bad. Almost in every way I like it. And again, man, if you're a good painter, you can go to town on this guy. Look at like the needles or whatever. Like that would be fun to do. His needle gun. Whoever painted that, by the way, like, damn, GW, you got some good paint. I hope you're paying them fairly. So I like this guy a lot. He's actually fairly sized. I remember with the Chaos Demons, a lot of them like, oh, they're really small. This guy is actually pretty decent size, so he's a newer sculpt. Ooh. S tier or damn good? I think, for now, I'll put him damn good. I do like him a whole lot, but I could kind of see why some people might not. Because, he's not that sci-fi. He's got the backpack. That saves it. But if you took off the backpack, this guy could totally go in, like, AOS or something like that. So maybe I could see some people complain. But then you got the Pimp Cane. That arguably should pump him up to S tier. But we'll leave him where he's at right now. All right, next up we got Chosen. These, again, are a very recent kit. GW did pretty good with these guys. I like it a lot. Playing in with what I said with the Legionaries, need to be more flamboyant or whatever. So, like, this guy, I love. This is probably my favorite guy, the one in the back. Yes, I was like, do they have a zoom? This is probably my favorite guy, just from that pose. Look at how awesome that pose is. This guy's going nuts. Like, yeah, he's chaos. He's got chaos on the brain. Does he have a third eye? I did not realize he's got a third eye. Like, that's sick. So, I like that. Look at his power fist. Oh, my God. Like, excellent work there. Again, the bases are awesome. I love the new sculpts because, yeah, GW, excellent work on the bases. Keep those coming. Even the other ones, like the mask on this guy, that is such a sick mask. I would use that as like a Chaos Lord in an instant. The belt is pretty slick. Chest, like, what's not to like about these guys? Like I said, they're more flamboyant. They stand out better, which is exactly how it should be. These guys do look like they've been fighting for like 1,000 years. I love it. And the poses, like all the poses, they did fantastic on. Look at that backpack. Like, that, oh my God. That is, wow, that is a sick fucking backpack. Excuse my language. So I like these guys a lot. Even his banner looks fantastic. That dead face right there, I love it. Yeah, truthfully, I think they go in S tier. Yeah, I think they go S tier. I would put them... yeah, probably bottom of S tier. I think it might be fair for them, but I like them quite a bit. They got a whole lot of flavor. The issue I have with them, they don't have that many. Like, they do have... no, they don't have, like, any kit options in the box, do they? I was going to say, they got some options, but I'm not sure they do. I think the banner you can change, but the rest of it is pretty set in stone. You can give them, like, bolt pistols or jeez, I can't talk. Or bolt, or plasma pistols. And I think, too, maybe you can give them, like, melta-guns or whatever. But otherwise, the poses are pretty set in stone. So if you want to run a bunch of these guys with their Chosen, you probably do. You gotta do some kit bashing, which is both a good and a bad thing. I wish GW would appreciate the kit bashing side of theme. Like, they seem to be really anti-kit bashing at the moment. Kind of makes me sad, because that's one of the best ones. Great glow up. Yeah, Thunder, I agree. They got a really good glow. The old ones are terrible. They were okay, but they're huge issues. They were way too small. I have the, like, out-of-print version, and they, like, nah, they don't look right at all from how small they are. Alright, next up we got Mr. Chaos Lord. So this sculpt specifically, this is like the main one GW sells or whatever. This guy's pretty slick. They did pretty good with it. He's a Lord. I think they could have gone way further, especially that backpack. Look at how, like, kind of boring that backpack is compared to what we were just looking at. And this was a freaking Chaos Lord. He should be, like, a Chosen ×3 or whatever. I also, too, I'd wish they made him kind of bigger. Like, he should be empowered by Chaos or whatever. So there are some issues going on here. The base is sick, so cool little, you know, debris and whatnot on the base. I freaking love his, like, his hair band or whatever it's called. I love that little skull. It's slightly cartoony, but it's awesome, so I dig it. Especially with, like, the hair coming out the mouth. They did pretty good on that. The fur is all right. A lot of it's, like, good. So, like, the technical details are great. It's just, come on, we're talking about a Chaos Lord. This guy needs to be way cooler. So I would run this guy, but I'd rather, like, kit bash my own and just make something cool and unique. So unfortunately, I'll put him tip-top of good, decent. I think GW could have gone way better with this guy. I almost want to put him in, like, needs a refresh. And in fact, actually, I think the Sorcerer does need a refresh, so I'll actually drop him down there. Not terrible at all, but could be way better. arguably could put Chaos Lord down there, but he's not bad. He's just okay. Ooh, alright, next up we got the, what do they call them? Cultist Warband. I like these guys way better than the normal cultists. This is how they should have done it. Way more flavor going on. Some of them, like this dude running with the gun on his back, that is such a good job, whoever sculpted that. That's such amazing work, because that does look, like, realistic and excellent, and it's pretty unique. I don't see that too often. This dude with the flamer, I like him. He needs some special rules, damn it. Damn it. He used to be a special character, but not anymore. I think, yeah, these guys are just basic cultists now. Again, GW went way better with these guys. Way more spikes, way more like paraphernalia or whatever. I do enjoy it. Even the chainsword looks amazing. I would totally toss that on a regular Space Marine. The poses they got, even the basic poses are pretty alright. This dude, possibly chick, with the grenade, I like it a bit. Look at the sculpting work on the legs. I like these guys way better. This is how GW should have done the cultists. $35. Hot diggity damn, that is quite cheap. So yeah, I would rate these guys pretty high. I don't think they're damn good by any means, but I do think they're good. I will put them, I don't think I go above Obliterators. I'll put them bottom of, oh wait, I said good, didn't I? I'll put them top of good. Yeah, okay, I do like Possessed better. So, just middle of good. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick sip of coffee, so cheers, my friends. I came prepared. I bought a big ol' cup of coffee. Alright, we got Haarken Worldclaimer. This guy is sick. This is another one of those models where you got a friend who's into Chaos or thinking about getting into him, or somebody who doesn't play 40k but likes doing the models. This is an excellent model to get him, because again, it's cheap. He's relatively big, like he's bigger than you might think or whatever, and they just did excellent on this guy. He's pretty new. I think he's like 4 or 5 years old, something like that. Maybe even newer than that. Look at the movement they got is excellent. The base is fantastic. Here, let's flip the upper view. Come on. Well, let me do it this time. The jetpack they did fantastic on. Very chaosy. You know, gotta have that. I thoroughly enjoy Haarken. He's one of those models, in my opinion, that looks so good you want to run him. I don't think he has the best rules. I think he's overpriced, but he looks so good that you're like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I want to bring some raptors and put them in there. Like, look at the sigils they put on the sword. I love the modern sculpting so much. The detail work they're able to do is excellent. The skulls flying off, got good movement. Like, what's not to like about Haarken? Here, let's see. Some of the detail work. Yeah, the dead Space Marine. Gotta love seeing a dead Space Marine. And this bit right here, the face in his armor, I like that detail a lot. So, yeah, I think he goes really up there. I do think he's amazing. We'll put him, yeah, probably above Chosen. Truthfully, ooh, I personally like the Venomcrawler more, so I'll put Venomcrawler higher. Personally, I like the Accursed Cultist more as well, but this guy's definitely a runner-up. Again, if you don't already own him, or you have a friend who's into painting or whatever, get him Haarken. They'll be very happy. Oh, okay. All right, boys, we're on to the good ones now. So, Dark Apostle, I worship this guy. This is one of my favorite models GW's ever done, at least for infantry. This guy is just 11 out of 10 in my book, and not even just him, even his helpers, 11 out of 10. I love this guy's look so much. The steel like mass that's been hammered into his freaking head. All he does is carry around this guy's freaking book, and if he messes up, he's probably like a goner. Probably worse than a goner. Yeah, I love him. The detail works so good. Look at that skull on fire. Hard to paint, or can be hard to paint. This actually makes it look kind of easy. Maybe I should have copied that style. But I love him a lot. Kind of basic, really, but it works. Like, he's just a cultist. Like, you don't care what he looks about. He gets, like, a leftover cloak or whatever. But then you get to the Apostle himself. Oh my god, Mamma Mia! This guy is amazing. So I'm not the best painter by any means. Like I said, I normally do tabletop standard. This guy is one of my favorite models I've ever painted. I think he turned out so freaking good, and I just did a basic paint job with him. Dry brushing really pops on this guy because he's got the folds in the cloth and the chain and all that. Pops really well. The book looks fantastic. If you wash it with different colors, you can get like the red sigils and all that. I suck at painting fire, so that was the hardest part, but even that turned out all right. I like absolutely am infatuated with this model. I absolutely think this is one of the best ones I've ever like seen. Look at like his leg armor is excellent. Like this, when we were talking about the Chaos Lord earlier and I was complaining about it, see, this is what you need to go for. Like super ultra detailed and evil and excellent. There's not a single thing I don't like about it. Let's see. Is there a single thing I don't like? Nope. Even the backpack's sick. Yeah, I love this guy so much. I almost when I make a new tier for him. The Dark Apostle tier. Almost wanna. I won't, though. Not for now. For now, I'm going to put him tip-top of S tier. If yet another model, if you don't already own him, he's cheap. He's $40. Go out and get him. You can stop the stream right now. Go out and order him. I love that model. Raptors. How old are these guys? I feel like they're kind of older, but I'm not sure. Maybe they are kind of new, actually. They're funky. They're both awesome and not awesome at the same time. I think so. The armor is awesome. The armor is excellent. I wish every Chaos Space Marine would have like that detailed of armor, because it fits them. Again, they've been stuck in the warp for thousands of years. Yeah, man, they're gonna get warped pretty badly. But I think the poses is what kind of kills it. Some of them have really bad poses. Like this guy. Like, what are you doing? Are you in a pageant or something? Like, that's a weird pose, man. This guy too. Again, are you in a pageant? Like, are you just like showing off? I don't think you're like about to kill somebody at all. This guy, yeah, you got the good look. The dude with the special weapon, like, whatever. He's kind of average. So, like, I love the armor. The armor is excellent. The detail work is excellent. But the poses are kind of dumb. I think they messed it up there. But everything else pretty good. I think, too, the helmets could be better. They don't quite fit it. I could certainly see some people, so maybe it's controversial what I'm saying, because I could see some people thinking, like, no, dude, the armor work is too awesome. Look at that leg, like, I don't know, man, that doesn't look right to me. So I'm complaining a lot about them. I hope they are older, so they get a refresh or whatever, but I'm not too happy with Raptors, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong, because on the table, they definitely do stand out and do look pretty cool, but, again, the poses kind of kill them. Not sure if I put them in need of refresh, even though I just said I wish they had a refresh. I don't think they're trash by any means at all. I'll put them bottom of decent. Like, they're not bad at all. I just think there's a few things that are off about them. Ooh, alright, we're getting on the bikers. So, newsflash, these were discontinued for regular Space Marines. So there's a pretty decent chance that their days are numbered for CSM, which sucks, because I own a bunch. I own like 12 of them or whatever. By the way, that was brutal from GW. Out of the blue to just kill, like, bikers and assault marines and all these other, like, really popular kits. It also makes you kind of sad, too, because then you look at, like, predators. Like, are predators safe? Should I not buy a predator now? So do be wary about the kits you're going to get. Mr. Thunder, I agree with you 100%. These guys are the very definition of need a refresh. They are just way too generic. You have an ultra-generic Chaos Space Marine on an ultra-generic bike. Like, there's barely anything chaos about him. Yeah, I was going to say, is there a spinning model? You got a spike. You got a skull on the front. Everything else is just super ultra-generic bike. I will admit, I like the models. I do think the models, like, look okay. Like, you don't look at them on the table and be like, ew, that's gross. But if you have modern stuff, so, like, you're a newer player to 40k and you see these models, 100%, I could see you look at them and be like, wow, those look, like, whatever. So, these guys are the very definition of needs a refresh, so that's exactly where they're gonna go. I don't think they're trash. Like I just said, they don't look bad on the table by any means. They just, like, way too generic. I do hope, GW, please don't kill these guys. They're really fun for Chaos, especially, and they fill a good niche. They're, like, tough, fast, pseudo-infantry, sorta. Please don't kill them. Please refresh them. And imagine how cool you can make them look. The worst part about them is the rear end. Let's see if I can... The rear end right here. Oh, yeah, can I rotate? Okay, I guess you can't rotate every image. It's just a flat surface. It's so bad. You have to kit bash something right there to make it not look bad. But anyways, need a refresh. And GW, please don't kill them. Warp Talons. Okay, so I just talked a bunch of trash about Raptors. These guys look better. They have the exact same issue with some of them having stupid poses. This guy right here, he's doing like finger guns. Like, come on, dude. Do that better. Admittedly, when you glue them together or whatever, you can like move the arm, and that is definitely what I would do. I don't think that looks cool. The little wings coming off the backpack, kind of goofy, man. I'm not really sold on the wings coming off here. Let's show you. Oh, yeah, these little things like. Okay, it adds some flavor and does make them look different, changes the silhouette, all that sort of stuff. But otherwise, yeah, you know. I will say the faces are awesome. These are, you know, sort of like possessed Marines, sorta. A lot smaller, but sorta like that. So I do like the faces. I like the claws. I like the legs. The chests are kind of iffy, too. I wish he was a little thicker. He's got a really thin little paper waist or whatever. Paper thin waist. And the chest isn't that detailed for what otherwise is an extremely detailed model, or pretty detailed model. The toes are kind of funny. I like them, but they got the clawed toes. Not sure. I won't put them in needs a refresh, although these guys would be excellent with a refresh. Can you imagine how cool they could do with a refresh? I want to say they're from like 7th edition, so they're relatively old. I want to say, because I kind of remember seeing them back then. So I'll put them very bottom of decent. I'll put them above the Raptors, but they do go kind of down there. Next up, we got Chaos Rhino. So it's a Rhino. I will say for basically all of these kits, so the dual purpose kits that Space Marines and Chaos have, they look way better in GW's pictures. Very rarely have I ever seen one that actually looks like kind of chaosy. And even then, even the GW picture right here, not that chaosy. It's got some spikes on the front, the Chaos logo, and then some spikes on the top. Otherwise, it looks just like a Rhino. I will say this is like when somebody thinks, if you were to say, what does a Warhammer tank look like, they're going to think of a Rhino. So there is that. It's like the classic model. And they did refresh it not that long ago, so it does look better. It does have better detail. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a Rhino here. And again, this is a Chaos Rhino, man. It should be warped. The kit bashes that people do and the like green stuff art that people are able to pull off is amazing. I think too Forge World used to, maybe they still do, used to offer like different panels and stuff you can put on, so you can definitely spice them up. I'm not that talented, so I haven't myself. But again, man, it's just a Rhino. It goes like very middle of decent, not bad in the least bit, but it's a Rhino. So not too bad. And again, very rarely, if ever, do they actually look that chaosy in person, unless you're fighting a talented modeler. Alright, Chaos Spawn. Alright, we got a contender for a trash model, maybe. Definitely needs a refresh. 100% needs a refresh. Especially in person, these guys just don't look right. Let's see, Ross says, the Rhino is the same as when I played as a kid over years ago. An update would be nice. Yeah, I agree. Especially, it would be fantastic. I know they won't do it because it doesn't make, like, business sense. But if they could do a kit specifically for Chaos, would be fantastic. That has, like, I don't know, a mouth coming out the front or something cool like that. Chaos Spawn, they're lame, dude. The model in real life is really lame. I don't like them at all. They look dumb, truthfully. Maybe there's certain ones, because there are a boatload of kits. That's like the saving grace of the Chaos Spawn kit. They're way overpriced. $55 for 2, like, average-sized models. But they come with a million tentacles and spikes and all that stuff. So they're great for kit bashing. But someone, look at this guy. Okay, cool helmet, I'll give you that. But the rest of you look stupid, dude. In my humble opinion. The tentacles don't look right. This guy's definitely showing his age. He's an older kit. This one kind of reminds me of like Resident Evil, so that's kind of cool. But even the pose is weird, and especially if you buy multiples. Because you used to want to run big squads of these guys. Not so much anymore. Let's see, Ross says, I used to be a big Gellerpox infected. I used to use the big Gellerpox as Chaos Spawn. They are awesome. I agree, man. That's actually one of the kits I need to get, is the Gellerpox infected. There's also, if you want to be honest, there's really good like 3D prints out there to run as Chaos Spawn. Or, what's that? Whenever you go to a game store, they have those really cheap models that come in like little blisters still, and they're on the shelf. Truthfully, those are like the best way to get Chaos Spawn. I wish I remember the name, but they're like $4 each or $5 each. Those are what I myself run as Spawn. And actually a bunch of those, I have some that I've ran as like Demon Princes or whatever. So next time you're at the game store, check out some of those cheap-ass models off, again, in those blisters. And a lot of them will make great alternatives to Chaos Spawn. Truthfully, I hate their models in person. I do not think they're cool. Some of them are okay. The crab arm is like chill or whatever. But I think, honestly, even though they need a refresh, trash also obviously would need a refresh. I'm going to put them in trash. Those are terrible models. I don't think you should spend $55 on a box of these. It is not worth it. Not at all. Alright, we got Noctilith Crown. Here, I'm going to take a sip of coffee and then clear my throat. So 1 second, guys. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Alright, Noctilith Crown. If you haven't seen it in person, this model is gigantic. I adore this model as, like, terrain. I don't run in my army, although I would say the rules aren't that bad. He gives a 4-up in-wall bubble at, I think it's pretty good range. Maybe it's just 6-inch range, but either way, the rules are pretty good, and the model itself, look at, so this shows off the size decently. Way bigger. He's like the size, he's like taller than a Chaos Knight, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic tabletop terrain. If you don't already have it, I would definitely look into it. excellent to paint. Again, I'm not the best painter, but this guy was like really easy to paint, and he turned out really good. The metal work is easy. Just paint that metal, and as always, the secret weapon for Chaos, especially Agrax Earthshade, in my opinion. And then you like dry brush a lighter color steel on top, it'll pop really good. This, I believe, when you buy the box, it'll like tell you what colors to do, so I just kind of copy the box. And again, dry brushing. If you've never dry brushed, I'm assuming most of you have, but especially if you're a newbie and you've never tried dry brushing, do it. This model is excellent for it. It's how you get that little detail work, the little gray popping out. I love this model so much. If you know how before a tournament you like set up your army so it looks pretty and people get pictures and vote on it or whatnot, even though I'm not running the Noctilith Crown, a bunch of times I'll put it in the back because it just looks so sick. It stands out great, and again, excellent tabletop terrain. This is fantastic tabletop terrain because of how big it is. Truthfully, I like it a whole lot. I'm going to put it in S tier, honestly. I think like it's bottom of S tier, but I like it a whole lot. Definitely take a look at it if you're looking for terrain and you don't already own it. Ooh, all right, boys. Abaddon. We knew this moment was coming. So, okay, so first of all, Legionaries. Real briefly, Legionaries. The kill team Legionaries, excuse me. It's better. Yeah, if you're gonna get Legionaries, like, just get this kit. Don't get the other one. Especially the dude with the baleful tome. I think he's, like, S tier. I love that freaking backpack. I love it a lot. His face is pretty cool, too. This guy looks goofy. The backpack was done wrong, and his pose isn't the best. Like, in person, I have this guy. Something's off with him. The rest of them are tight. You also get the giant-ass freaking axe, which everybody wants. So, this is a better kit. I would put it, like, damn good. Is probably where I'd rate these guys. But Abaddon, alright, we know where Abaddon is going. How could he not go, like, top of S tier, basically? Very recent sculpt. Excellent. GW did excellent. Like, and we all knew they would. Well, actually, you know what? These days, yeah, dude. Pretty much every model GW puts out these days is like a hit. I can't think off the top of my head of any that don't look good. Abaddon is an excellent example of it, especially the base work. The base work is like 10 out of 10. I love the Broken Eagle, the Primaris Marine that he done messed up. His pose is excellent. His fist, excellent. Like, look at the detail work. The cape does great. He's been in a lot of battles. Doesn't give a damn how he looks or whatever. So his cape's all messed up. The fire bits. What's cool too about the base, you could use these on other models if you wanted to. So that's kind of cool. He's a decent size as well. So on the table, he very much stands out. Like he's a centerpiece. He's small, but he's a centerpiece. For $70, when it comes to like a good looking model, $70. This is probably one of the best steals from GW. Mr. Thunder says another excellent glow up. Oh my god. The old Abaddon. Oh my god. What a terrible model. Alright, let's see. Abaddon old model. Let's see if we can pull it up, because he was so dumb. Right here. Look at that. What a okay, so I shouldn't talk too much trash, because this guy's from like the 90s, like early 90s if I'm not mistaken. So I shouldn't be that rude about him. But oh my god, like completely different ball game with this guy. So yeah, he's going tip top of S tier. Look at the I love too, they got the Tyranid skull up there. Obviously got the dead Primaris. The sword looks amazing with the faces like screaming. The armor detail. Oh my god. And what's cool too, you can change his face. So maybe, so like I did stick with Abaddon's face, but I would love to have my own warband leader or whatever. So find a cool like helmeted face or whatever face, put on there and just say, yeah, this is Fat Archon the Fat Archon the Overlord. Anyways, we know where this guy's going. He's going tip top of S tier. Maybe he belongs in his own tier. Maybe. Because we're about to get in a contender for what's arguably one of the best models ever made ever in my book. So, Lord Disco. This guy is what got me, this guy single-handedly got me into Chaos Space Marines. I distinctly remember, he actually got me back into 40k period, because I took in a break or whatever, and then randomly, I think I read 1D4chan, and I kind of saw a hint of this guy, and like, what is that? And I distinctly remember going online, I saw him for $60, I'm like, oh, that's a steal, and immediately I bought 3 of them. Do I regret it now that we're in 10th edition? Slightly. They'll come back, though. When the Codex drops, I imagine this guy will be awesome again. Holy cow. I doubt I'm the only person that saw this model and decided they had to play Chaos. Legitimately, sincerely, I think this is one of the best models ever done by GW ever. I think this is like a timeless model as well. You could look at this thing like 20 years and be like, holy shit, dude. You know, they were making that 20 years ago? Like, oh my god. Everything about this guy is fantastic. The tentacles coming off the back are tight. Here, let's do the spinning one. You do different faces on here. You can do, I like it with the mask. But, yeah, he's got the tentacles coming off the back. The flag looks good. This guy is kind of a pain to paint, at least if you want to be, like, really, like, detailed and fancy. Yeah, he can be kind of a pain, especially, like, the flag. Have fun with that. This guy is fantastic. Like I said, I like the helmet look a little better. Yeah, okay. So I am going to make a new row, and we're called the Disco tier. Disco tier. That guy is amazing. I like every little detail about that guy. And you know what? Truthfully, I think Abaddon does go in Disco tier as well. He's one of those models. If you don't already own Abaddon, like, what are you thinking? Like, go out there and get it. I don't even play Abaddon. Like, rarely, if ever, do I actually play Abaddon. You know, I got my own reasons or whatever. But, like, yeah, dude, like, one time I'll get him. Alright. Next up, a very, very recent refresh for the Daemon Prince. This guy is awesome. GW did fantastic. I remember when they first previewed it, they did like a close-up of this face, and a lot of us are like, ooh, I don't know. But then, actually, when it came out, you got this freaking guy right here. He also has other faces. He got Nurgle and Tzeentch, which also look excellent. His backpack, fantastic. The 40k backpack on this guy, one of the favorite ones I've ever seen. His sword, that is S tier right there. That is like 11 out of 10 sword. The little glyphs they managed to like get in there. How I've been saying, man, I love the freaking modern GW sculpts. Like, dude, you guys better be paying your modelers like primo bucks, especially because you're a billion-dollar company. But look at like the wings, excellent, some of the best wings ever. The tail, it's easy to mess up a tail. Nope, this guy's tail is fantastic. Again, the base work with the rock outcrop they stand on, the freaking pads that he's the knee pads. Oh my god, yeah, dude, everything about this guy. Thunder, I agree. I do think he goes in Disco tier. This is one of the more detailed kits we've ever gotten. If all the future Chaos stuff has like the amount of like attention to detail and love that went into this guy, we are going to be quite spoiled on models. Like, we already are, but we'll be, like, doubly spoiled. Even the whipping turned out great. Like, yeah, dude. So, yesterday, I did the Chaos Demon review, and I was talking about, oh, yeah, I need to buy this guy. I need to get Vashtorr. Haven't bought this guy yet, but I did buy Vashtorr, excuse me. So, I got him on the way. Daemon Prince, he'll be the next one to get 100% this guy, and then I'll probably get Angron, because I don't have World Leaders yet. Anyways, yeah, I think he goes very up there. On a technical level, like technical work, I could see some people argue he goes above Abaddon, but obviously I think if you were going to buy a model, like I would get Abaddon first, and then the Daemon Prince. So we'll put him very back of Disco tier. Ooh, alright, Helldrake. So this guy is like one of the most classic CSM models out there. Yeah, it's a freaking mechanical, futuristic sci-fi dragon. Like, come on, dude. Pretty awesome. He stands out like a mofo. Like, when people see this and they've never seen Chaos before, they're definitely going to ask about this guy. I like it a lot. I will say, I'm not sure he goes in S tier. Maybe he does, actually. Maybe he does. That trim work is crazy. This guy is such a pain in the butt to paint if you're, like, detail-oriented or whatever. Like, have fun doing that. There is a trick. I've seen plenty of people do it. They get one of those Sharpies. So you can get, like, different color. You can get, like, metallic Sharpies. And they just, yeah, they just highlight it that way. That seems like a pretty smart way to do it. I was kind of lazy. Like I said, I speed paint, so I painted everything. And then I did go metal, but I kind of, like, dry brush it. Looks fantastic. Like I said, this guy will stand out. Maybe you don't have that big a budget, because he's only 80 bucks, pretty cheap for GW, but you need a centerpiece, and you don't have that big a budget. This guy's definitely one of those models you can look at, so I like him quite a bit. What do you guys think? Would he go S tier or damn good, or is he showing his age? Because he is older. I believe he came out in 7th edition, so when flyers were a thing, I believe is when he came out. And by the way, he was like a terror in 7th edition. He's like the whole reason you had to have anti-flyer, and then they started nerfing the hell out of flyers after that. I think he's such a classic model and such an obvious, like, anybody who knows 40k and has, like, you know, been around, the second they see this guy, even if they've never seen it before, they know he's Chaos Space Marines. So I'll put him bottom of S tier. Bottom of S tier for now. Ooh, we're getting on to a very fun one. So, all right, 1 second. I gotta clear my throat again. Sorry, guys. I apologize about that. If you guys can't tell, I get get a dry throat. Here, let me take a sip of coffee. Cheers, friends. All right, I had to clear my throat because we're on to the freaking Khorne Lord of Skulls. Another one of my favorite models ever made. I'm aware that a lot of people think this is goofy, and I will not deny that yes, this is goofy, but it's like so goofy, it's freaking awesome. This is excellent. I think they knocked it out of the park. It is the most unique theme I've ever seen. Well, one of the most unique themes I've ever seen for any like fictional universe ever. I know I mentioned it in my Chaos Space Marine reviews and all that. By the way, check those out if you haven't ever. But the whole so these. The lore behind him, these are supposed to be the boiling blood of murderers. This guy's freaking fueled by the blood of murderers. Like, that is such a cool idea. The lore behind this guy is, like, some of the best. Like, here, I'm gonna clap. Good job, GW. Whoever wrote that, like, you were fantastic. I believe, too, he sprays the blood on people, which is awesome. The idea of, like, that he's gonna melt somebody with, like, burning blood is fantastic. Let's see, Fired Ola, or Awa, you said it's the fun, goofy, and I can't wait to use this guy in CSM and World Leaders. Yeah, he will be good in World Leaders as well, so good point. Yeah, you can run him in other armies. And then Francis said, you're mad that they raised his points. I agree. Admittedly, like, he is, at least he's around the same price as, like, Knights, like Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights. But for World Eaters especially, because didn't he go up higher in World Eaters than Chaos Space Marines? Something silly? World Eaters especially, they didn't need that. Like, they're already struggling as it is, so it is rough that they raised the points. Hopefully they look at that in the future. I will say he's a T13, freaking 28 wounds, or whatever it is. Like, he's a kill machine, towering, and then you got to think, too, that you can actually buff him and, like, use stratagems. So that does add quite a bit of value. But, yeah, he's expensive points-wise. I think he's, for World Eaters, I want to say he's 505, and then for CSM, I want to say he's 480. Don't quote me on that. Model's expensive, but this guy is like the definition of a centerpiece. If, yet again, I'll say it a lot, if you need a centerpiece, you don't already own one, this guy is one of the best ones you could possibly pick. We actually, later on, we'll get to a Forge World version, which a lot of people like more, so you're not stuck with the awesome tank tracks or whatever. 100%, I could see some people not liking that. Well, guess what? I love it, so whatever. Again, the detail work. Look at the skulls and the plow or whatever. The skull on his armor. The axe is excellent. He's pretty easy to magnetize. 100% you need to magnetize this guy. The face is excellent. That helmet is so good. There's not a single thing I don't like about this guy. What's funny too, he's so like excellent. He's such a good model in my book. I'm intimidated by him, like painting. So he's actually not painted yet, and I've had him sitting for like a year, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta wait until I'm like a really good painter before I do that. And a bunch of little details, man. You got like the blood crusher head sticking out. Again, freaking love this guy. He's going. I want to put him in disco tier, but I know he has a little bit of goof to him. I'll put him top of amazing. I'll put him near the top of amazing. For me personally, I am in love with that model. I wish I owned 3. I only have 1. One day I'll have 3 of them because that's a fun list, anyways. All right, on to another multi-use model, as in regular Space Marines can use them. So we got the Land Raider. This is another classic unit for 40k, going all the way back in the day. They did refresh it, thank God. Looks way better than the older model. The older one was like too short and really like stubby or whatever. Again, it's really hard, so the pictures make them look like awesome chaosy. I don't see them that often unless you're a really talented modeler. So don't expect them to look that cool. Mine looks pretty basic. Mine's kind of like this with just a few spikes. That said, you do got some cool little charm. You got like so whatever the heck that would be, armor panel, I guess, is pretty cool. You can do them cool colors, so like Iron Warriors looks fantastic. Iron Warriors are such a cool army. Mr. Thunder says, old but gold. Exactly, this is a classic kit. I don't think it's superb or nothing. I'm not going to put it in S tier, I don't think. but he is huge. This is a big model. 90 bucks, not too bad, not too bad. He is a big model, so he's fun to throw on the table, fun to look at, fun to hold in your hand. Like, come on, man, we're all like nerdy little kids. I know I turned into a little kid around my models, so I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna imagine this guy like, you know, kiss. But anyways, I do like the Land Raider quite a bit. I just don't think he's S tier. I'll put him in. Honestly, I think, ooh. Okay, I'll put him very top of good. I wanted to put him damn good, but I'm not sure he goes up there. Let's see. Fired says that crazy Kit Bash Death Guard one with eyes and muscles. Yes, I've seen some amazing Kit Bashes, and that was going to be my complaint of why I'm not putting him in damn good, but just good. GW could have gone way further with this guy. Again, tentacles or mouths or just eyeballs, any of that sort of stuff. Like, again, I do like the fact that we're still allowed to Kit Bash. Like, come on, GW, Kit Bashing is one of the best parts of 40k. Like, quit like screwing us on that and doing monopose everything. So it is cool that, yeah, you can fix it yourself. Forge World, I'm pretty positive, has some cool little kits you can do as well. But they could have gone way further. I wish they had tentacles or something coming out. So I'll just put him good, not damn good. Although I could see some people argue he goes higher. I'm not sure he's better than Possessed. I'm not sure he's better than the newer Cultist. Yep, those poses kill with the Havocs, so I will put him above the Havocs. Alright, Terminator Chaos Lord. So this guy, he's kind of showing his age. I don't know how recent he is, but like just in person, especially when you look at him, like you can tell he's kind of older. He's kind of got like muddled details, I guess, is sort of the issue. Is there a spinny version? Yeah, there's a spinny version. Mainly, it's probably his face. I do not like that face at all. The rest of them's not terrible. The cape work is like actually really good. I do like the again, the Tyranid head. I like when they put more than just Space Marines on there, because, well, yeah, they care about the Imperium the most. Like, they're gonna kill literally anything that gets in their way, and Tyranids probably would get in their way. I do love it's a dead Dark Angel. Like, you know, you get some points there. Screw Dark Angel. No, I'm sorry. I love Dark Angels. I shouldn't say that. Let's see. Peters says, not gonna lie, Chaos Lord Terminators model's pretty dope. Has a lot more options than shown than what's shown on the site. So, okay, touche. He does have a fair amount of options. I do really like his Combi Melta, because of course you're gonna, well, okay, I shouldn't say of course, but me, I always ran that Combi Melta. I actually use that arm, so I magnetize like everything, especially Chaos Face Rings. I use that arm on my other Terminators. I kit bash my own, but this guy's excellent too, because that, especially the base. The base really helps. The armor does have really good detail. Really, truthfully, it's the face that kills me. And Peters, maybe, you know, I think you're right. There might be other faces you can use. So maybe I'm being kind of harsh on this guy. But I do think he kind of shows his age. I think, too, that backpack, like, does he even have a backpack? I guess he has a cape, so that's okay. But that could be better. The cape itself is excellent, but the top is kind of, you know, generic fur or whatever. The cabling's kind of generic. It's kind of too thick or whatever. I think they could, the axe could be better. Again, though, you're right, Peters. They do have save, they do have different loadouts, so you wouldn't have to do the axe. You like a chainsword. I wonder if they show it. No, they don't. You can do them as the, okay, that helmet I really am iffy on. We'll get on that in a second. But, let's see. Francis says, left kneecap looks like an angry frog. Let's take a look. Oops. Where's the spinning version? Come on. I 100% see that all of a sudden. Oh my god. Yes, definitely I see a frog right there. What was that show from the 90s? The game show with the kids, and they went in that Aztec temple, and then the blocks would come down on them or whatever. That's what that kind of reminds me of, the blocks that would come down. But 100% see that. Peter says, you think it's on your borderline between good and old. Okay, I can agree with that. I can get behind that 100%. They did right on the proportion. So earlier, the regular Chaos Lord, I think, one of the models, the waist was too thin. Nope, this guy's excellent because, you know, it's a Terminator. He better look damn thick. I agree. He's not bad, but he's a little off with them. I'm debating if he needs to go, you know, truthfully, I'll be honest, while I think he's maybe, like, top of decent, bottom of good, I do kind of want to refresh for this guy. Can you guys imagine what a new sculpt of a Chaos Terminator Lord could look like? How freaking amazing that could look? I think, yeah, refresh would be much appreciated, GW. I'm not even sure how old this model is, but, like, give us a new one. I think he'd look way better. So, again, while I'm putting him in needs refresh, he's a fine model. If you don't already own him and you need a Terminator Lord, like, he's a fine addition to your army. I think he could look better. Fired Owl says, it has one Terminator head, but I'm not a fan of the tusk. It did come with a fantasy style head as well. I think the fantasy head is probably the Sorcerer that here we'll look at right now. Maybe. I hate that helmet. It should look so cool, but especially in person, it just looks wrong. It's like too tall. The proportions, I don't know what it is. I just hate that helmet. I like the third eye. I like the slit on it, but the horns just don't look right. It does make them stand out, so I'll give them that. Does stand out. Truthfully, too, again, in person, I think that staff doesn't look as good as it could. It kind of has weird, it kind of just doesn't look right, sort of. I think, preferably, maybe cut off the bottom. Maybe the star just isn't the best. I'm not sure if there's different ones you can choose. Me personally, I do have a lot of issues with the Sorcerer one, even though he's almost exactly like the Chaos Lord. Just the helmet and the stuff he's holding in his arm. I do have some issues with it. I do like the spikes, so that's a little better. I do like the detail work is still there, so the eyes, yeah, he's got a bunch of eyes all over. I do like that. This guy's very Tzeentchian. Makes sense, he's a Sorcerer. Again, the Combi Melta, that's one of the better Combi Meltas I've ever seen, so I do like that quite a bit. And, of course, Skulls are always badass. I'm going to put him, he's right there with the Chaos Lord. This guy would, how I say, like, Chaos Lord, he could go in good or decent. I do think, honestly, Sorcerer, I think he does go, like, solid, needs a refresh, in my humble opinion. Alright, Master of Executions. If I'm not mistaken, this guy's fairly new. He's very cheap, 33 bucks. Yet another model that makes an excellent gift for somebody, or better yet, you know, spoil yourself. If if you don't already have it, get this guy for yourself. He looks sick, especially in person. This guy looks sick. They did really good on the bones everywhere. Yeah, he's got like bones all over him. The heads that he's holding, I freaking love that little detail. These little heads that he's holding. Here, let's do the 360 spin. Ooh la la, ooh ee ah yeah. The heads, those are fantastic. That is such a fun little detail. It's fun to look at, man. Like honestly. And again, all the bone work they did excellent. I don't like the leather mask as much. I like him without. Like that face is awesome, especially exposed teeth. Like he's taking some hits or whatever. That axe is excellent. Look at how big the axe is. I wish it was more, like, jagged and whatnot, but it would make sense. He'd have a really sharp axe, so, okay, you know, I'm being a little picky there. Leatherwork is fun. Again, usually you don't have that much leather. And, like, they are Chaos, so they do have a decent amount of, like, tan skin, and that's exactly what this is, like, human skin, by the way. So that is cool. You get to paint, like, different styles and different colors that you may not normally do. I do appreciate that there are different helms, because you can, if you run multiples, which in 9th you would, I do like that they look a little different. You can totally, I'm pretty sure too, I like cut the arm, or when I put it on, I did the arm different, so he has like slightly different pose. I like the heads too much. I wasn't going to change out the heads. They can both carry heads, that's fine with me. I like this model a lot. Fired, you said you did the same thing. Peter said, I kit bash mine with some possessed parts. That is genius. Oh man, and also too, this guy would be, yeah, man, the fun you can have kit bashing this guy is like top tier. You go wild with this dude, or make your own. This is a perfect unit that you just make your own. So don't even buy the MOE kit. Just get your own, like, get a Chaos Lord or something and kit bash him. You can have a field day with this guy. Just give him a big axe. That's a big thing. Everything else can be however you like. This guy, I do think he goes in amazing. I think he's pretty amazing. Very cheap as well. I'll put him, I think this is fair, right behind Haarken. I think Haarken has, like, better details, and in, like, a general audience sort of way, I think more people would like Haarken than they do the Master Executions, but I do think he's an amazing model. Again, all these recent sculpts, GW, I love you, man. You know, this is the reason I buy your models, so keep up the good work. Alright, Cypher. Cypher is a newer model. Pull him up. He's another, like, especially for 10th edition, I do think he's a must-get. He has, so gameplay-wise, we'll rate him on looks, not gameplay. He is very valuable and very good in 10th edition, so if you don't already have him, consider getting him. His fluff is really fun. Like, is he good or bad? I don't know. Like, to this day, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being, like, a good guy or whatever, but it's cool that, you know, he helps the fog. The detail work is excellent. That cape, like, one of the better capes I've seen. The sword, pretty awesome. They could do more detail on it, but it's still pretty awesome. That's the lion sword, right? Isn't it like shattered or something? You can't take it out, like the world ends. I don't know. Look up the lore. He does have fun fluff behind him. Cool face. Like, yeah, man, the detail work they did is fantastic. This is one of those models, too. I like to copy what GW does. This guy would be fun to make it look like how they got on here. Do the black with the white. Like, yeah, I like this guy a fair bit. What does Thunder say? Use the Daemon Prince axe on my Chaos Lord in place of the Master Execution. Yeah, man, that's smart. Hey, Glintergrass. Hey, man, I appreciate you saying that, Gunther. Yeah, very much, man. Thank you very much. Glad you can make it, by the way. And then Peter says, I think GW's biggest weakness is faces for humans. Yes, they have gotten better. So I would say this face looks pretty good. It's hard to tell, especially in this picture. I think they are getting better. Women's faces, though, they are terrible at women's faces. They all look like dudes, just about. Okay, the Sisters of Battle, they do have really new sculpts. So again, they're getting better as time goes on. But I'd agree, faces were always something they struggled with quite a bit. And I'll be really honest, I hate how hard they're going on the monopose. I really hate the new equipment restrictions, how you can only run what's in the kit. Half the fun of collecting 40k was individualizing your models. I am still a giant, huge advocate of kit bashing and making your models look unique, man. Like, come on, this is an expensive hobby and, like, a fun hobby. Half of the hobby is putting together your models, like painting them and stuff. Make them look cool to you, man. So I wish GW would put in more accessories and add more. Okay, Cypher, I'll let it slide. He's a named character. I get it. You want him to look a specific way or whatever. But that's that's my one complaint for recent GW. Cypher I like a lot. Again, 35 bucks. I've said a million times, you got a kid or something who's into Warhammer, just buy him a Cypher. In fact, after this, maybe I'll buy my nephew a Cypher, because I think he'd like it. Also, another thing I don't like, how they're starting to do push fit more often. Save it for the special edition box sets. That is totally fair. Gets new people into it easier. But for regular kids, don't you dare put push fit on me. Don't you dare do that. Anyways, Cypher. I think he's damn good. Yeah, I think he's damn good. Honestly, I'd probably put him above Fabius. I think a lot more people would be drawn to Cypher than Fabius, even though Fabius do got that pimp cane. Ooh, so the pimp cane does make it debatable. We'll just say you could shuffle him however you want, but for now, I'll put Cypher tip-top of damn good, because that is a damn good model. Speaking of damn good models, alright, we got the Noise Marine. Oh, okay, so I thought about if I was going to include Fallen or not before the video. If I did, so I didn't. If I did, these guys go straight to trash tier. These are terrible models. Yeah, they're unique or whatever, but A, they're itty-bitty. They need to be rescaled. B, they're not on the index, so GW is kind of tricking you if you buy these guys, because I don't think they're going to support them. They're probably already in Legends or whatever. Yeah, do not buy Fallen. These are a terrible model, in my humble opinion. These would be another one of the trash tier ones. Like, look at... It's kind of cool, like, kinda, but kind of dumb, too. Like, look at that thing. I don't know. So, not sold on them. Anyways, something I am sold on. Who doesn't love this model? Raise your hand if you don't love this model, and I'll boot you out of the chat. I'm joking. You have whatever opinion you want. Dude, come on. The amount of flavor and just, like, fun. Whoever got to design this, dude, you are one lucky person. Because I'm sure GW was like, yeah, make it look badass. And he's like, I got something in mind. I'm pretty sure this mirrors, like, the original Noise Marines from back in the day. This is another one. Just like the Khorne Lord of Skulls, how I was saying I'm kind of intimidated. So again, I have this guy, and I haven't painted him yet, because I am very intimidated by, like, I want him to look good. And again, I like to copy what GW does. I will say, for my Chaos Space Marines, okay, I got my own theme going on. They got, like, rusty orange or whatever. But they're Noise Marines. They need to stand out. Maybe it's the leopard print that I'm, like, scared of, because I would not attempt to do leopard print. This guy is amazing. You guys want to know the honest truth, too? I actually bought 2 of these. So I bought one to put on the table, and the other one, he's still in the box, because I'm like, ooh, this is like a collector's thing. Maybe like 20 years from now, maybe he'll be worth something or whatever. Not a single thing, in my opinion, there's not a single thing not to like it. Like, come on. He's got a Bolter guitar. Come on. I'm glad GW sticks with some of the silly stuff, the quote-unquote silly stuff. Because at the end of the day, we're playing a silly game, you know? So I'm glad that they didn't, like, bring it too realistic or whatever. The detail work is fantastic. That backpack is awesome, even though it's, like, relatively basic. Still awesome. It's hard to see because it's hidden, but, like, the teeth on his chest, the Slanesh symbol, the paint job, too. I'm not really rating the paint job, or I shouldn't rate the paint jobs because we're talking about the models, but this is one that you can go wild with. Just like this. They would be very flamboyant, like 80s rocker. Look, he's got freaking high heels on, guys. Like, I love this guy a lot. I would not be surprised if he's kind of expensive on eBay. It says out of stock temporarily. Wouldn't be surprised if he's always out of stock. Let's see what some of the other people say. So, Ross says Noise Marines are awesome yet goofy. So yes, okay, so I didn't include the Noise Marine models in this list because I couldn't find the kit. They just got like the whatever it is. I passed them already, but the just the guns or whatever. And I agree. What I did, so the Noise Marines I have, first of all, I 3D printed most of mine. But the other thing I did is I bought Forge World Cacophony Squad. Here, actually, I wonder if they still sell them. I'm not even sure how they spell it. Alright, never mind. I'm not going to take too big a detour, but I use the Cacophony Squad. Unfortunately, they use the old scaling, so they're way too small, but they are kind of cool, and they're weapons you can use on it. If you were in a kit bash, you do them. By the way, guys, go out and get a 3D printer. Maybe don't print the entire model, you know, do whatever you want, but at the very least, you could print the weapons, because GW does make them hard to get, and they do look kind of goofy. Let's see, Peter says, the only thing I hate about that model is that I can't buy them in bulk. Yeah, dude, I would love to have an entire squad of this. I don't even care, this one in particular, I don't even care if it's Monopose. It would be tight if you could do, like, I don't know, a base, maybe have, like, a drum set. Like, how sick would that be? Like, but I agree, man, it would be awesome to run an entire squad of these guys. Fired Oa, he says, only the upgrade kit sucks. Hopefully they might see something in this edition. Oh, here's a hint. You're gonna see something this edition. Emperor's Children are right around the corner, like 100%. They've been hinted at in the lore. I would, like, bet my house, even though I don't own one, I would bet the house that this edition, 10th edition, Emperor's Children are gonna come out, and they're gonna get some sick models. I hope they follow I would be okay if they follow this theme, or goofy, like glam rock. They probably won't, and I could see why they don't, but I would put them pretty up there. And let's see, what does Peter say? Scratch that. I don't want to spend $200 for a 5-man squad. Well, you're playing 40k, so unfortunately, sometimes that's how it goes. I love this model so much. I think, honestly, I'm gonna put him in disco tier. Fit the name, like, very disco, E. So I think it fits up there. He goes bottom of disco tier, but I think he does go up there. Honestly, too, this is my list. I'm putting Dark Apostle up there. I can't tell you how much, like, if I was being, like, if I was doing this list solely for myself to read later, I'd probably put it something like that. I still love the Disco Lord too much, but I know that he goes kind of lower down there. Alright, who do we got next? Hellbrute. Hellbrute is a love-hate. Alright, let me take another sip of coffee. One moment. Excuse me, boys. Alright, love-hate. The model itself is sick. The detail work, this arm right here, this guy is exceptionally easy to magnetize. You had better magnetize yours. Don't want to go out buying a bunch of them. I will say $60 not too bad. This guy is way smaller than you imagine. This guy is way small compared to what you might think. He's like an itty-bitty dreadnought in person. This paint job, not very flattering. That's ew. This one's much better. That's cool with the flame, and that's what's fun too. You can have a field day with this guy. The panel work you can do, because there are some pretty fat panels, kind of like the Obliterator. So he looks like a buffed up, roided out Obliterator, which is pretty tight. But just like them, the face is a little weird. So the love-hate that I was saying, I love the detail work. I hate that pose. He's just standing up straight, like what the hell, and his legs are like rigid. That kind of kills it a lot. You would want to, like, do some, like, kit bashing or model work. You'd want to, like, split them right there and kind of turn the torso or something. I wish he was, like, walking or some sort of movement with the legs. Because if you just, like, if we were to, like, just look at the legs, honestly, truthfully, personally, I think those look almost terrible. Like, good detail work, but the pose is just dumb. He's just standing there. Let's see. Peter says, I think the previous Hellbrute looked a bit better than the new one. The previous Hellbrute? The previous one, out of print. Let's see if they come up. Oh, are you talking about this one? Yeah, this guy does, okay, so this is an example of a much better pose. This, right, so I agree with you 100%, Peters. This is way better. If I were to buy another Forge Fiend, because I already have a few, this would be the one I'd want. I don't think the normal kit lets you do that. I think this is the old one, but this is excellent. This is what we want. The awesome, like, dynamic pose. It's kind of like bending back sideways before he smashes you, versus you got the new one that's very stiff. So like I say, it's a love-hate, Man, I wish I put the picture of the other one in there, because the other one, okay, yeah, I'd put him, like, damn good. Unfortunately, there's some things I hold him back. Let's see, Thunder says, I just use the box Dreadnought and Kit Bash as a Hellbrute. That's exactly what you'd probably do. That's what I'm going to do with, like, my Contemptors and whatnot, because GW is awesome sometimes and decided to legend them. So maybe my Decimator or whatever might be a good one. They're kind of bigger than this guy, but whatever, rule of cool. Peter says, nah, that one doesn't have whipping options, though it does look pretty sick. You're right, so it does have, like, a set whipping, because I think that was from the Dark Imperium kit, or whatever it's called, so those were all monopose. But it does have, what, the Fist and the Multi-Melta, I believe, so it's not the worst loadout, I'd rather have the Twin Las Cannon and probably the Hammer, though, so touche. Don't ever do all melee, that would be dumb. But, as good as the detail work and all that is, it does hold him back quite a bit. I'm not sure if I put him in good or decent. I think I'll put him in decent, honestly. I'll put him tip-top of decent. Like, he is fun. He's fun to look at and cool to put on the table. It's just they messed up that pose really bad, in my humble opinion, so we'll put him down decent. Again, guys, if you buy this kit, magnetize it. Super easy. Just do it. Alright, we're on to Trader Guardsman. Or, excuse me, Kill Team the Blooded. $60. Oh, man, maybe... Oh, okay, they're out of stock. I was looking for these last night, and they were $90. So, another kit I don't own, but I want. What's cool about this, you get both the Trader Guardsman and an HQ. Admittedly, the HQ's not that good rules-wise, but he does look pretty sick. I like these models. I think they could have done better. Certain ones, so yes, the HQ, excellent. I think those do look very good. The regular Trader Guardsmen, like, they're good. They're good. Could be much better, but they're good. This guy, too, I'm surprised they use this guy as, like, the one to show off. He does have a cool face, you know, kind of evil smirk or whatever, but I don't know, he's kind of bland, kind of. I want him to have, like, a brand on his forehead, blood all over. I mean, he's more, like, torn up because he's just treated like crap everywhere he goes, covered in mud or whatever. I guess that's a paint thing. So I think they could do better, but then you look at somebody like this guy. Looks fantastic. Like, yes, he doesn't have the most, you know, trim or stuff. Again, I would love for some brands to be on his back. Like, maybe that'd be fun to do. Get an X-Acto knife and put a Chaos logo in there. That'd be kind of tight. But the claw, excellent. Very good work on the claw. The freaking, what is that called? But what's called, like, the pole, the spikes in it. I like it. You can see they, like, welded the spikes on. Like, that's pretty tight. Like the gas mask. This is a face that they did really good on. So, parts of it I like a lot. Let's see. Yeah, I was going to say, do they have a close-up? This guy, you see? I'm talking about the brand. I like that quite a bit. I will say, he's kind of cartoony. He has a super huge fist, and then the rest of them kind of small, so a little cartoony there, but everything else is excellent. The logo on his shirt, again, the brand on his face. I would honestly, if the size was right, I'd consider using that head on a regular Legionary body and call that one of my Chaos Lords. Like, that'd be pretty fun. The Trader Guardsman, like, look at this guy. Like, he just looks like an old man. That's not chaosy. Like, that could be way better, man. Same with this guy. They're just generic faces. You need more with, like, yeah, the cool mask or a hooded and, like, they're, like, brooding and evil or whatever. So while it's a pretty decent kit overall, there's a few things that are holding it back. I think I'll put it in good. Not damn good, but good. If I was just rating the characters, maybe I could put them in damn good, like bottom of damn good. But me personally, for now, we'll put them there. Let's see. Thunder says, great kit to have. Peter says, his flag looks like he wrote it on a Walmart receipt. Here, I gotta move the chat a little. But, alright, let's take a look at that. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Or a, Walgreens receipt. I can definitely see that. Those are like 3 feet long every time you go. Alright, ooh, okay, Vindicator. This is another, like, classic 40k model. I remember way back in the day, I'm pretty sure 7th edition is when I got into competitive Warhammer. I think I did Space Wolves and Dark Angels, and at the time, so in 7th edition, there was that instant death rule. And so, if you had strength double whatever their toughness was, you can just instantly kill them, whatever it was. Anyways, long story short, I bought 1,000,000 Vindicators. I know I bought at least 3 of them. And I think that 7th is when they implemented the rule of 3 or whatever. I had a bunch of Vindicators. I love this model. I genuinely love this model. Sure, like, for Chaos especially, like, does this look that Chaos, aside from the paint job, Does this look very chaos to you? Like, no, not really. Yeah, a few spikes, and that's about it. I do like the towel head. Like, okay, that's a pretty awesome little detail there. But the shield, that is such a cool shield. They really are, like, pretty big on the table. Like, yeah, it's a Rhino chassis, but this really does, like, bulk them out quite a bit. Got the big-ass cannon. I love the Vindicator. Again, I think it's a classic model. He's not that bad in 10th edition. Needs a point drop, like, drastically. Ooh, whoever taught me that I could drag him up and down, you're a saint. But anyways, 70 bucks, not too bad. Like I said, I love this model. And again, you can kit bash the hell out of him, make him very chaosy. That's the way I would do it. You can also run him as a, well, never mind. I was going to say a laser destructor or whatever, but I'm pretty sure those got legended as well. So, I like the Vindicator quite a bit. Not sure I put him in damn good, because again, for a Chaos model, he is quite generic. He does not at all have as many like bits as he needs. What's cool too about like all these kits, I'm pretty sure Vindicator included, but Predators in them, you can run them as a Rhino or a Vindicator. So like don't glue on this part if you can help it. And I'm pretty sure you get both front panels for both the Rhino and this. So just a little pro tip for you. Anytime you buy one of these kits, you also get a Rhino from it, sorta. I'm gonna put him. Oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here, let me make sure I didn't mess up the stream there. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Alright, I'm gonna put him in good tier. Oh, gotta fix that. Alright, there we go. I'll put him in right next to the Land Raider. Me personally, I do like him better than the Land Raider, so I'm gonna put him up there. I think that's a fair spot. Ooh, next up we got Mr. Predator. So, it's a Predator. They're starting to show their age, like, big time. While I like them, and yet again, this is a very classic 40k model. Well, first of all, I touched on it earlier. Are they even going to stay around? Like, at the end of 10th or when 11th edition comes, am I even going to be able to run a Predator anymore? I really hope so, especially for Chaos Space Marines. Like, come on, man, they're stuck with the old armory, so of course they would keep running these guys. And I'm saying this in case you didn't catch earlier. GW squatted a bunch of regular Space Marine models, like Bikers and everything. So but not the Predators. Predators are still usable, but you do have to question if in the future you won't be able to. So that sucks. I really wish they were open about what they're gonna do with their plans. But at the end of the day, it's just a tank. It's not that special. Like I mentioned with the Rhinos and everything, very rarely do they actually look super chaosy. I will say they get the so the last cannons do have the cool little like I don't know, the dragon spouts or whatever. So that is pretty chill. I'm pretty sure you can have a Chaos Space Marine popping off the top. Do they show any? Nah, they don't. So you know you got a lot of leeway in kit bashing or whatever. But again, at the end of the day, we're talking about a basic tank. By the way, 70 bucks, not a terrible price. If you were going to pick these up, I'd probably go on eBay. At least, so they're temporarily out of stock, and they are really good right now. So actually, the price might have jumped up, funnily enough. But Predators used to be like a dime a dozen on eBay, because everybody thinks they look really generic, and it's true. So this, while it's not bad by any means, it could go in decent. I'm going to put in needs a refresh. This guy, like, very much needs a refresh, in my humble opinion. Doesn't look bad at all, so I'll put him very top of it, but yeah, he could use another look. Alright, on to something that doesn't need a refresh in the least bit. Oh my god. Alright, Forge Fiend. If you saw my my tier list reviews, or like best units in 40k or whatever, Forge Fiend, one of the top dogs right now, for like just about any army, but obviously, especially Chaos Space Marines. He's like vital. If you don't already have this guy, go out and buy him. Better yet, buy 3 of them. This is another funny one. Okay, they're not sold out, so I bet you could get these for cheaper on eBay. I got one for 40 bucks not that long ago. This was like a year or so ago, so the prices, especially right now that they're so good, the prices probably have jumped up, but fantastic model. Look at that face. Look at that face. And look at the detail work they did on the guns. This is another one that can be a pain in the butt to paint if you're you know, like detail oriented. So much about this guy is excellent. I love the screen pipes or whatever. Excellent work. The skulls on there. This is yet another one of those models that's just fun to look at on the table. I think you know, some kid walks up to the table, you're at the game store, there's a decent chance he's going to ask if he can like pick up your model or like look at this model, and this might be one of the ones he wants to look at. so, they did so well. This would be an easy one to mess up. You got like the horse legs on a freaking demonic chassis or whatever. I could see like being able to mess them up. Nope, they done did excellent on this. I will say, okay, the arms are, they could be slightly better, I guess, but I like it a lot. I'm going to rate this guy quite highly, of course. And again, you do either the Gatling can, which does look sick, especially with the skulls, or the plasma, which, with the teeth, looks excellent. I'm going to put this guy, I do think he's amazing. I'll put him in amazing. Lower amazing, because, spoiler alert, I like the Mauler Fiend more. But we'll put him, yeah, probably above the Chosen. I'll put him right behind the Dark Commune. I can see other people rate him differently, but that's where I'm going to put him. Now, as for one I like better, the Mauler Fiend. I love this man. If I could marry a model, this would be one of the ones I'd consider. Sure, he'd be a brute, but excellent, especially looks-wise, especially with the tentacles. I have a brain fart and forget what they're called, but those tentacles make this guy pop. He looks so good with those. Admittedly, if you're playing competitively, you're going to want to do the Melta pistols or whatever. Those are better currently, and they don't look that bad. The little arms with like little Melta stingers popping out of them, but these especially look good. This is another model that you need to magnetize, especially this model, because you can run them as Forge Fiend or Mauler Fiend. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube on how to do that, so if you end up picking up this guy, like, make sure you check out that video. He's kind of expensive, 80 bucks, so I would magnetize him. That way you don't have to buy too many kits. I do own 3 of these guys. I do love them. I almost want to buy more so I can run them as both Maulers and Forge Fiends. Excellent model. I think GW knocked it out of the park. I think it looks better than the Forge Fiend, personally. Like even the face or whatever, I like that. And again, those tentacles just work perfect. And the pose with his claw coming out, the movement, they did really well. The fist on the ground. I'm gushing over this guy, but it's for a good reason, because he's quite amazing. Look at that too. When I painted mine, again, I just do the tabletop standards, how I start, and then I come back to them and do them more. I am so impressed with how mine turned out. A lot of it, because of this Khorne logo right there, looks excellent. When you paint it right, and then you wash it, and then dry brush it, like, oh my god. Anyways, super gushing over this guy. I'm going to put him pretty high. I'm going to put him... I don't think he goes disco tier, even though I do love him quite a bit. I'll put him right here. I think he does go kind of behind the Accursed. I could see some people, maybe I couldn't. I was going to say, I see some people, you know, not really liking the model, but no, I can't really see that. Firedoa, you said, loves its rules in World Eaters, where it gets even deadlier again as it wounds enemies. I think it was called the Scent for Blood. Yeah, what else do they get? Don't they get, yeah, they get +2, charge range. I think they can re-roll their charges. That might be CSM, though. Yeah, they're really good in World Eaters. If I remember right, though, GW upped their price because they have something against World Eaters, it feels like. No, what it is, I think they priced in the advance in charge with, like, every unit ever, which kind of sucks. But, yeah, no, they especially pop in World Eaters. I'll agree with you there. All right. Defiler. Me, personally, if you've watched any of my other Chaos stuff, this is one of my favorite models ever. Even when I was a little kid in the 90s, as soon as I saw this model, I was like, wow, Chaos is sick. Like, Chaos has the best models, oh my god. And the reason is obvious. You got a freaking killer crab. Like, how could you not like that? They really did do the legs, like, pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, the legs themselves are excellent. The, like, platform, not so excellent. Okay, it's good that we can zoom down. The platform itself isn't the best. It's kind of goofy because it's really, like, small and thin compared to the rest of them. So there is that issue there. But I do think the claws, they knocked out of the park. The legs, they did pretty good. Admittedly, in person, the legs aren't as cool as when they're professionally painted by somebody who paid a lot of money to paint this well. So there is that. The helmet on top is stupid. I hate that head on top, personally. I am not into it at all. I'm pretty sure my model, I just didn't put those on there. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. The logo you can put on top is okay. Mine always snapped off, so it doesn't make it hard to transport. But anybody ever, maybe they don't play 40k, any of that stuff, when they see this model, yes, this is going to be something that they comment on for sure. And again, could be one of the ones they asked to, like, pick up or whatever. By the way, I am totally chill with people picking up my model like that. So I'm not in the middle of the game, because you might mess up where it, you know, where it was just standing or whatever. But by all means, man, pick up my models. I've had people drop my Hellbrood or my Helldrake. Like, yes, please don't drop my models, but no big thing, man. It's an accident. It's not a big deal. As long as you don't break it badly. As long as you don't break it enough that I can't fix it. Like, whatever, dude. I don't care. Anyways, as much as I personally love this guy, so if this was, again, was me, I'm just writing a list just for myself. I know nobody else will ever see this. I would put him, like, very tip-top of disco tier. Unfortunately, I have to be realistic. This guy desperately needs a refresh. I would, if I'm being, like, honest, like, okay, he probably goes just indecent. Because, again, even though he's old and he's showing his age, if somebody sees that model, they'll probably comment on it. Because it's a killer crab sci-fi, you know, killer machine thing. Like, it's such a cool idea behind it. But imagine how sick that guy will look when he gets a refresh. I bet GW will refresh that model, because he is pretty popular. Look, out of stock online. And GW, if you legend this guy, oh my god, I will come to you. I am not joking. I will come to you. So don't you dare legend this man ever. You can refresh him, because I can only imagine how freaking amazing he'll look with a new kit. But don't you dare get rid of this guy. Anyways, I love Defiler a lot. He goes very tip-top of a need refresh. Like I said, guys, if and when they refresh this guy, it's going to look amazing. All of us are going to want it. He used to be really hard to get, too. It used to be, like, you could only get him on eBay. And even then, he was, like, always sold out on eBay. I remember we have a really huge store out here, and I remember they had one, and I was, yeah, ooh, I gotta get it this second. Alright, Mr. Vashtorr. So, probably the newest model on our list. Just ordered him yesterday, so hopefully I get him next week. Maybe, nah, I was gonna say, maybe I'll do a video on him. No, I'm not gonna put a video on putting together Vashtorr. You know, you guys want to see that, there's a bunch of out there. Anyways, he's one that, again, so, okay, for the most part, I love him, but there's some parts that are weird to him. He's kind of lanky. I think his hammer could be a little better. It's not bad at all, but I wish it was bigger. I think that's my thing. I just wish it was bigger. I wish it had a better name, by the way. This is just called Vashtorr's Hammer. What? And then he's got, I think it's called, like, Vashtorr's Claw for his flamer. Like, those are the dumbest names ever. Francis said a Vashtorr build stream would be cool. Maybe. So I actually did have a YouTube channel many years ago, 5 years ago, and that's sort of what I did. It was all about Dark Eldar and Drukhari, which, by the way, they have a very special spot in my heart. And I did do videos. A lot of times that's what I do. I would just chill and paint and talk or whatever. So maybe there's a small chance one day I do it again. It's just like a hangout sort of thing. And truthfully, that could be fun live. Just do like a question and answer thing with you guys. So maybe when I get more subscribers, so we get more people in the chat. Like, actually, that's a pretty decent idea, Francis. But yeah, not anytime soon, because I would kind of see it as potentially being boring. Anyways, enough about that. I love and hate this guy. He's lanky. I think too the wings, while the wings are like awesome in some ways, they're kind of too thin. So again, I'm of two minds of them. An issue is I don't own him in person, so it's kind of, even though he's on the way, thank God. So it's kind of hard to like judge because I only have the pictures to go off of. I will say that face is awesome. I love that face. That is very cool. The claw is pretty cool. Well, I did just complain about the wings. Like, they are, you know, they are pretty slick. Like, we do like that. The armor's awesome. It's kind of like a dress, but that's okay. He's demonic. He doesn't care that much about it. He is almost, like, naked, but again, he's a demon. He doesn't care that much about him. His fluff, which I've only read a little bit about, but I am, like, very interested in Vashtorr. His fluff is pretty awesome. Okay, I'm like a nerd or whatever, and I'm always like, I'm a very rational human being. That's one of my, like, traits. I'm a very rational person or whatever. So, in a sense, I'm drawn to Vashtorr because that's his thing. He's like, yeah, to a fault. He's rational to a fault, is something I kind of like about him. Let's see. Peter says, hope they give Vashtorr his Cogs army back in the future. What I want, man, I wonder if he is a sign of things to come, aka Dark Mechanicum. I would not be surprised. Like, I do think if it comes, and I do think it will one day come, because people have been, like, hungry for that. When it comes one day, there's a chance he might become the leader, or, like, transfer over to their range. But I do wonder if he's parts of Dark Mechanicum. I am very curious, too, yeah, if he'll get his Cogs army back. I wonder if the Codexes are going to have the, whatever they're called, the special detachments or whatever. I kind of think they do because we have detachment rules or whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's how GW does it. They give you like 2 or 3 different detachment abilities to choose from. And very much so, I could see the CSM Codex mentioning like, yeah, you want to do a Demon Forge army? Here you go. So model-wise, he's actually pretty good. I had a lot of complaints, but I actually like him a fair bit. Let's see, Peters also says, if he does become a god, would be pretty sick if a demon Primarch like Peter Turbo became his best bud. Yes, I would agree. If Perturabo especially became friends with this guy, I would love to see it. If I'm not mistaken, he's kind of buddy-buddy with Abaddon. Again, I haven't read all the fluff, but they did ally together, didn't they? So, you know, he's kind of cool. $100. So I've seen like size comparisons. If I'm not mistaken, he's like bigger than the new Daemon Prince or whatever, so that's tight. He's a big model. This is a centerpiece for sure. You want a centerpiece for your model, and maybe you really like demon engines like I do. There's still reasons to play him. His rules kind of suck at the moment, unfortunately. But I do fully believe that will be fixed as time goes on. So I don't think he's amazing, unfortunately. Well, there's parts of his models I do think is amazing, excuse me. Again, the face, for example, the claw, pretty awesome. There's other parts, you know, they just could have been better. He's kind of lanky or whatever. He does look like desiccated or whatever. And this guy, like, trying to become a god, I would think he's, like, swelling with, warp energy or whatever. So I'll put him, top of damn good. Just not quite amazing, but he's quite up there. All right, we're past the models that are actually on GW's website. So, Master of Possession. This guy is expensive to get on eBay, from what I've heard. I already own 3 of them, so I didn't have to look. Doesn't he come in the Start Collecting kit or whatever? Like, if he does, you guys should consider getting him that way. Master of Possession. Excellent model. Amazing model. This isn't the best pick. That's too zoomed in. Excellent model right there. What's not to love? The freaking, the staff he has, fantastic detail work on the skull up there. Very chaosy. I like it. Actually, really reminds me of Doom. So like in Doom 1, the final boss or whatever his name was, very much reminds me of that guy. I love the flames, the skulls. The helmet is slick. I will say, the smile or his teeth or whatever, slightly cartoony. Very slightly on the cartoony side, but that's okay. It's 40k. It's okay to, like, go into, again, that cartoony stuff a tidbit. You can, like, dip your toe in it. The detail work on the armor, excellent. The necklace, excellent. Fire on his arm, excellent. Man, I wish I had a model I could rotate. I guess this shows the back. Come here. The backpack is okay. So from the back, he's not as cool. I love this model so much. I am very happy with the Master Possession. He's one of my favorite ones to, like, look at or whatever when I'm looking at my army. Like, look at that, the staff. Very cool. Oops. So I'll put him pretty up there. I'm not sure he goes in S tier, even though I've just been, like, you know, loving him so much. I think he goes, we'll put him right behind Vashtorr. I think he's an excellent model. Definitely one you want to get your hands on if you don't already have him. His rules are fantastic as well. And he does look cool in front of Possessed. Like, he kind of, like, okay, Possessed don't look that much like him, but he looks like a leader for him, so he fits in pretty well with him. Here, I'm going to take a quick sip of coffee. Firedoll says, unfortunately, you can't really get the Start Collecting kit anymore. There's a guy who's charging 100 plus pounds during the LVO. I'm not surprised in the least bit. If I had a time machine, man, I would have bought like 50 of those boxes, then resold them now. Because they used to be, I think they were $90, and they were one of the best deals Games Workshop ever did, ever. Just for the amount of models you had. That's actually how I got into Chaos Space Marines. I bought 3 of those boxes. And they really did have so many models. That's how I have 3 Master Possession. I got 3 freaking Venomcrawlers. I got more Legionaries than you could shake a stick at. So keep your eye on eBay. Maybe somebody doesn't know that they're overpriced or they aren't a scalper. You might be able to get a good deal. Peter says the Master Possession is pretty dope looking Battle Mage. Yep. Also too, so I did actually kit bash mine kinda. I changed the staff on one of them, and that way I can run him as a Sorcerer if I want. You could even argue with your friends or whatever. You run him as a Master Execution, you run him as, like, Chaos Lord, whatever the hell you want. Maybe just, like, you know, be careful with how, if you're running other Master Possessions, you better make sure he looks a little different. That, too, that's right, the backpack's separate. So I use his backpack on my Chaos Lord Kit Bash and just put another cool looking backpack on this guy, and I change his staff or whatever. You got a bunch of leeway in kit bashing this guy. He looks pretty sick when you put some time into it. What is this model? Oh, okay, that's a weird picture right there. Anyways, it looks like they photoshopped a bunch of stuff. Anyways, yeah, so I like him. He goes damn good in my humble opinion. All right, we got some of the Chaos Cult or whatever they're called, the other armies troops. I didn't mean to include them in here, but we got Khorne Berzerkers. Let's, you know what? Screw it. We're here, so let's pull them up. Now, do they spell it with an S? Berzerkers. What the hell is going on here? Do I not know the name of Khorne? Okay. Oh, Berzerker. I always do that. Anyways, these are a very recent kit, and yeah, I think they're sick. I think GW did pretty good on them. It's freaking Khorne. The Khorne helmets are some of the best helmets in the game. Very distinctive, and like if you know anything about Khorne or whatever, you immediately know, oh yeah, those are Berzerkers right there, or those are World Eaters at the very least. Oh, especially that helmet, dude. Like, that's so sick. I would love to kit bash these to run as just Legionaries or whatever. I need to get this kit. I bought the old kit. It's kind of a mistake. It did come with 12 models, and I got a bunch of chain swords or whatever, but these chain swords and chain axes are so much better than the old kit. The backpack's not the best ever, but I like these guys better than Legionaries, that's for sure. I think they do have more, like, yeah, more flavor to them, more charm. So I like them quite a bit. Let's put them, and you could, by the way, just run them as Legionaries. If you're doing the bolt pistol and chainsword version, which arguably, well, used to be like the best way, you totally run them that way. I'll put them in good. I think, yeah, just middle of good, I think, honestly. Next up, we got Exalted Champion. So, do they still sell this guy? I kind of think they don't. GW, why do you hate us so much? Exalted Champion. Okay, it's okay that they don't sell this guy, because he is 100% one you just kit bash. Also, too, he's the old scale, so I do own this model, and if I'm not mistaken, he's the old scale, so he's too small. Look at how itty-bitty his base is. Granted, you know, if you're modeling for advantage or whatever, that's actually a good thing, because he'll fit in a little better. But 100%, you just kit bash this guy. That said, his model alone is still pretty slick. I still like his model. Here's this, like, fancy... Oh, okay, so this is a kit bash right here, like, perfect example. There's a bunch... In fact, most of these pictures are just kit bashes, if you haven't noticed. His model's okay. He is the very definition of needs a refresh, considering that you can't even buy his model anymore. And he's an awesome character. He has good rules, like fun rules. I like too, he comes with a combi melta, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, very, like, definition of needs a refresh. So that's where he's gonna go. Alright, next up we got Plague Marines. So, if you watch the Chaos video on the ranking the best models, you guys know I'm extremely Nurgle biased. I'll be upfront about it. I'll be open with y'all. These are fantastic. These are relatively recent. I think they came out 8th edition is when Death Guard came out, somewhere around then. And yeah, these at the time, these were some of the best sculpts ever at the time, if I'm remembering right. Like, look at the armor work they did. So, again, so much flavor and detail. I wish they put as much effort into normal, like, Legionaries as they did with the Plague Marines. Would have been much appreciated. They also have a bunch of different loadouts, so you got the cool, the Plague Weapons and all that, which are pretty awesome. These guys, fantastic. Death Guard in general, if I were to rate, like, armies, just like the entire army and how they looked, Death Guard arguably would go in S tier or whatever. Again, I'm extremely biased, so I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing or whatever. But I'd put them pretty high up there. Now, are you going to run them in your 10th edition Chaos Space Marine army? Probably not. Not until they get their Codex, but they're not too bad. Definitely don't go in, but looks-wise, I think they're fantastic. Looks-wise, ooh, are we putting them S tier or damn good? I think S tier. When you compare them to Legionaries, for example, these guys blow them out of the water. They got so much more, like, cool little detail. Each and every one of them has interesting little detail. I especially love that one in the back. Do they have a close-up of him? Yeah, this guy. This guy's my favorite, honestly. I believe he's the squad leader. I don't like the... Alright, the plasma looks kind of silly. It's, like, not shaped right, in my opinion, but I love that face. Maybe it's the fact that he's fat, and I'm attracted to fat men. No. Anyways, so, I would put them in, yeah, I'll put them bottom of S tier, I think. I think they, you know, put them above the Helldrake, actually. Lots of detail, lots of things to love. Ooh, all right, we got Huron, Mr. Huron. 40k Huron Blackheart. So, again, with many of these older models, you have a big issue of he's really small. He has the old sizing, which is very unfortunate, because he very much stands out. Also, too, he's fine cast. That's the worst name ever, because the fine detail is terrible. Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at his little, whatever he's called, Hymidrai, or whatever his little demon pet is, which, by the way, is cute. I love the idea behind it. Unfortunately, this guy is yet another definition of needs a refresh. He looks terrible. I do still like him, so I like Red Corsairs, they're just awesome. And I like his rules, and I like what he does for my army, so I still run him on the table, but he almost looks embarrassing, if I'm being honest. So while he's the definition of needs a refresh, I gotta put him in trash tier. He really does, look at how dumb that face looks. Yeah, look at how bad. Look how bad that is. And he's really small, he's itty-bitty. Thank God GW did a rescaling of all the Space Marine faction, because they needed it desperately. Alright, next up we got Fellgor Beastman. I don't think GW even sells these on their model. I was trying to find them before the video and I couldn't. So probably really expensive on eBay. These guys, okay, well I don't like the unit itself. The models are pretty awesome, especially, look at that. That is a freaking awesome. I'm not sure if this is from the same kit, because Ravager. Maybe that's a kill team thing or whatever. Okay, yeah, it is the same kit. That is such a cool model. They did so good on it. Like I said, I don't like the unit, rules-wise. I don't like them that well. But looks-wise, yeah, GW did really good on these guys. In fact, looking at these makes me want to see more Beastmen for Chaos Space Marine. They're more like 40k Beastmen. I would actually very much like to see that after looking at these guys. I wish I was that good a painter, because that'd be really fun to mimic right there. So, a lot of things to like about them. Fired Owl is saying, I think they're from a kill team bundle with another army. Yeah, I looked through the kill team kits as well, and I couldn't find them. I didn't look that hard. I spent a minute looking for them or whatever. But they're kind of hard to find. Wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they're expensive on eBay. Let's actually look. Let's take a quick look, quick detour. Okay, that didn't look... 85 bucks, okay. That's kind of expensive, because I bet they were 60 bucks originally. Maybe this is the only one I'm looking at, but unfortunately. Again, though, those kits, fantastic. Honestly, they're fantastic. I think GW knocked it out of the park with them. Yeah, truthfully, I haven't seen them in person, but just looking at those pictures, seeing all the variety, and all the cool little, how they all look completely different from what I was looking at, I am going to put them in S tier. I'll put them in... Maybe even above Plague Marines. I'll put them somewhere in S tier. Just somewhere in S tier is where I'm going to put them. Okay, we already did these guys earlier. I did mention if I separate them out, I'd put them higher. Where did I put the regular Trader Guardsmen? Okay, I put them in good. Yeah, I put them damn good, honestly. The guy with the fist is kind of cartoony, but the other guy looks amazing, so we'll put him there. Alright, we got another out-of-print model. We got Lucius. 40k Lucius. Unfortunately, same issue I brought up a bunch of times. Unfortunately, his model does not look right next to the new models, because he is itty freaking bitty. Oh, what? You can get a Horus Heresy version? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well, that's the one maybe you should consider running. That said, he doesn't look chaosy enough, because this is quite chaosy. Now, I will say, for the time he came out, for the time that this guy was new or whatever, fantastic model, I'm sure. His face having all that detail in it, the whip was probably awesome at the time, the Slanesh logo, all that stuff, the detail work on the armor. Pretty sure this is a 90s model, mid-90s. I'm sure for at the time, the faces and the armor, probably one of the best they made at the time. But we're talking modern day. Unfortunately, I can tell you, I could go pick mine up and hold it and tell you, doesn't look that good in person. You can tell that he is very aged. He's kind of cartoony. He doesn't look right. His whip kind of looks lame as well. I don't really like the whip in person, at all. I do like, again, I love the faces and the armor. I do like his face, too. He's he's a weirdo, you know, the freaking Lucius. I do. Apparently, I need to look into the new model they got going on. What is this guy? Oh, wow. I wish they looked more like that. This guy, okay, so... I don't think I put him in trash, even though he's very old, so same level as Huron. I do think his model's usable. He will stand out, but he, again, like some of the others, he is the very definition of needs a refresh. I'll put him like, yeah, he's teetering on almost trash, but, you know, we're talking about Lucius here. It's a pretty cool theme. Again, if you don't know the lore about this guy, go look him up. Get on 1D4chan or Lexicon or wherever. Look up his lore. It's really cool. He has some of the more fun lore in all of 40k. Ooh, okay. We are on to Forge World. So we're getting into the pretty fun stuff. So, first of all, we got Khitan. A lot of people, I've heard millions of people, okay, not millions, but I've heard bunches of people say they prefer this guy over the Khorne Lord of Skulls, the base version. I 100% see where you're coming from. This model's sick. I do own him. I do love this model quite a bit. He looks amazing. So it is literally a Khorne Lord of Skull top on Khitan legs, we'll say. When you order the kit, it's actually interesting. You do get the plastic bits up top, and then the bottom are like resin or whatever. That's how I remember it, at least. Excellent kit. From Forge World especially. Like, sure, we're in a sense, we're just raiding the legs here. But damn, you got some nice legs, dude. They did it quite well with the positioning they're using. The detail work is pretty decent. It's basically Chaos Knight's legs. 100%, I can see why some people like this better. I like the chains. What's cool about, and he gets some for up here too. What's cool is you get to like mold those how you want. Get a hairdryer and like mold them how you want. So mine have like cool little they fit the pose I gave him, because he's sort of like, I forget exactly how I pose him, but he's sort of like moving or whatever, and so the chains help like display that. I like the Khitan quite a bit. Is he worth 180 bucks? Yeah, that's debatable, but I like him a lot. If you don't like the regular Khorne Lord of Skulls, but you want a big cool-ass freaking Khorne demon coming at you, yeah, this guy, definitely a no-brainer. I'm going to put him, honestly, I'll put him in amazing. I do think he's amazing. Again, we are rating just the legs, so I kind of think he goes kind of lower on there. But then again, I've seen so many people say they like him more, so I'll put him next to the Khorne Lord of Skulls. I think that's fair. Dominic is saying they just made a Warhammer Plus show about Lucius. He's a narcissistic butthead, but cool. You know what's funny? I actually watched that episode. I haven't watched much of the other. I think it's Hammer and Bolter. I haven't watched much other of it yet. But that episode I did watch, and it looked kind of cool. I think their new season I think is mainly CGI or whatever, and I like their CGI stuff better than their like art stuff. Either way, I think the first season was like, it was cool, but the artwork was kind of low budget slightly. It seems like they're improving as time goes on. Also, too, okay, so I'm not somebody to hero worship Henry Cavill at all. I do like the man, and it's awesome that he's repping 40k, and like for sure, dude, I want to hang out with Henry Cavill or whatever. I'm just like, I'm a special snowflake, so I gotta say, I don't worship him like everybody else. Anyways, I am so excited for that show. Henry Cavill, supposedly he's gonna stick to the lore. I know every famous person ever just says what we want to hear, but he actually he like quit The Witcher because it wasn't fitting the book well enough. At least that's the excuse he gave. So I do think 40k is in good hands. I am so excited for that Amazon show. I don't have an Amazon subscription right now, but when that show comes out, yeah, I'll get one. And truthfully, I'll probably review it. Like, it's going to be a year or two from now. I don't know how long, but yeah. All right, we're on to what arguably could be, maybe, in my opinion, the best model Forge World has ever done. As a quick reminder, there's a giveaway going on for this guy. So remember, after this stream, check out my video history. It was from like a week ago. It's a contested giveaway. Check it out and enter to win this guy. Look, he's 315 bucks. You can get a 315 buck model just for watch the video and see how to enter. Anyways, I adore this model. I almost regret that I'm like giving him away or whatever, but it's okay. GW did legend him because GW in their infinite wisdom want to get rid of one of the coolest models ever made, ever to grace the table. 1000%. This is a model that somebody who doesn't know anything about 40k walks up to the table and sees. 100% they're going to tell you like, whoa, that's such a cool model. What is that called? Yeah, super ultra cool. It is resin, so it's going to take a lot of work to fix, especially like all that detail work in the back. Have fun pulling out an X-Acto knife for that. But it's worth all the work. I love this model. there's an okay chance that sometime down the line I buy another one, because I genuinely do think this is one of the best models Forge World ever done. Whoever painted this, by the way, what is that called? Like gloss or like candy finish or something? Maybe it's just lighting. Like, you did really good on that paint job, my friend. That definitely stands out there. Dominic says, let's look here. Dominic says, it helps with the budget. People like Henry Cavill, he's very lore accurate, and you're right about The Witcher. Yeah, dude, yeah, I do like Henry Cavill. I know I was saying how, oh, I don't hear worship him. No, he's a cool dude. And yes, from what I've heard, yeah, he sticks to the lore, and that is extremely important. It would be very easy to, like, clean up Warhammer so it doesn't, like, offend people or whatever. But Henry, if you're watching this magically somehow, first of all, drop me a like and subscribe. I think, me personally, like, a lot of us, come on guys, we're nerds, we're neckbeards, a lot of us are gonna get really mad if if he, like, throws away the lore and makes it all cleanly, and, you know, you got female space marines and all this stuff, which, I'm not trying to get into that argument or whatever, but it doesn't fit the lore. You can definitely, and 1000%, there's gonna be a lot of chicks in there, so, like, expect it, but don't you dare make him a space marine. Anyways, so, this guy, definitely, in my humble opinion, he goes disco tier. Does he go higher than the others? Honestly, yeah. I think, so it is Forge World. It is relatively old. This model's been around for a while. But while I'm, like, talking it up so high, and it does look amazing in the pictures or whatever, do be aware that they don't have the best, like, detail. It's funny, man. Modern GW plastic is much better than Forge World resin has ever been. That said, let's look up some, let's see what some other people have managed to do with theirs, like paint jobs and whatnot, because this is such a fun model to have, guys. Yeah, and you got a bunch of, like, look at this. Whoever did this, oh my god. That, like, that's like an award-winning paint job right there. I think that is perfect how this guy did it. But what's cool, you have so many ways to pose them, like, which is awesome. You can have them stand up kind of high. This is one of the better models I've seen in a while. Whoever did this, like, you are incredible. Look at that base work. Oh my god. It almost looks like, I think the tails, does it really look like that? Anyways, like, I'm all, like, infatuated, like, oh my god, this, for real, though, look at how good you can make this model look. That's another cool thing. They're so big, you can go to town on, whoa, that's cool, a 3D printed small one. I actually really like that. You can go to town on the paint job on these. You can resell them on eBay quite easily. Look at that. They look so good in the candy red or whatever. Dominic says, I think the Ultramarine movie is okay, but it's not what you want to see when you're a fan. I'm going to have to disagree. I hate that Ultramarine movie. You're talking about the CGI one, right? That was, like, from, like, 2012 or something. And I remember watching that, trying to get, like, way into the, you know, into the fluff and everything. Me, personally, I think it was just how bad it looked, like the CGI of the day or whatever. It didn't age well, is what I should say. I don't think it aged well, and that kind of turned me off to it. But yeah, we got a little bit of movies out there. Now, if you want to talk about good 40k stuff, what was that guy? He did the is that one guy all by himself made that CGI like 5-episode theme where they were the Space Marines were, or the Space Marines were attacking a Space Hulk or whatever. Whatever that is called, that is some of the best sci-fi fiction, period. That guy, I hope GW, I know that they hired him, I hope they paid him a pretty penny, because that guy alone brought probably tens of thousands of new people into 40k. There were people at my work, I remember people at my work were talking about it, and they had never heard of or seen 40k before then, and they all wanted to see it. I remember me showing it to my friends, being like, you guys want to see something cool? Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. I agree. So, super fantastic. I wish I remember his name. You know what? Let's cheat. Let's cheat. What would I even call it? Warhammer 40k CGI, we'll call it. Astartes. Yeah, Astartes. Oh man, if you guys haven't seen Astartes yet, go watch it after the stream. Do it. Like, you will love it. Yeah, hopefully somebody new here has got to see it. Alright, anyways, so that was a big detour. So, let's review the list and see if there's anything we want to change. I am confident in Disco being number 1. I genuinely do, like, love that model more than anything. Abaddon, I think, is fair. I think those are all fair. Oh, I do love the Dark Apostle. I want to put them higher, but I know that some people might not. Let's see. Khorne Lord Skulls. Yep, I'm keeping them in S tier. My list. I still love them so much. Venomcrawler, I think, is excellent. Accursed Cultists, if they're relatively cheap, if you don't already have them, I would strongly recommend you consider getting them for your army. They look sick and they have good rules. Definitely a good one to get. Mauler Fiend, I think, looks amazing. Haarken, good. Let's see, anything I want to change? Chosen, they did do really good with the Chosen, but I think they could have done better. So I'll just drop them just a tidbit behind. Fellgor, I wish I owned them in real life, but looking at those pictures, they look pretty amazing, so I think I'll keep them there. Plague Marines do look awesome compared to Legionaries. Helldrake, he's kind of starting to show his age, but he's still a centerpiece, so I think he still deserves to stay in S. So much detail in that model, detail work, mostly the trim or whatever. He has crazy amount of trim. Damn good. You know what? I think Vashtorr, while I haven't seen him in person, he is pretty sick. I'll bump him up to S tier. I think that's fair. Let's see. Fired Oa says, I prefer the... My chat gets cut off, so I can't... Oh, there he goes. I prefer the treads for the Lord of Skull. The giant tanks of boiling blood and it uses to fuel itself are great. I agree. The boiling blood is a must-have. I am so glad GW included that. I do like the tank treads, too. I think they're cool. I think they're, metal as hell. So I agree with you for the most part there. Master of Possession... He's damn good. I was thinking if I put him up to S. No, I don't think he's quite there. He could have more going on. His face is kind of cartoony, if you look at him up close. Cypher, I do like a lot. I can't put too many models in S tier is kind of the issue. Because I'm ooh, he does look really good. I think damn good is totally fair for this guy. Same with Fabius. I like his Pimcane too much. I'll put him a little higher. In fact, I like the Pimcane a lot. We'll put him a bit higher. You got to think, too, his little assistant also looks excellent, even though it's just a little spare extra model you don't normally care about. Terminators look great. I do think Obliterators look greater, so we'll put him a little higher. These guys are damn good. Again, the one guy, his fist, I'm a little iffy of, but everything else, damn good. Traitor Guardsmen, yeah, they're good. I do think, okay, I don't think, no, I put them way too high, though. Let's start dropping these guys back a bit. Possessed, yes, they're good. Some people say damn good. I'm sure some other people say amazing. Me personally, I think there's just a couple things are just slightly off on them. Mainly just some of the arms just don't look right. Cultists Warband, they do look sick. Compared to the other cultists, this is how they should look. Lots of flavor and very chaosy. Berzerkers, I like them a lot, especially those helmets. You got so much kit bash opportunity just from the bits that come in there. Vindicator, classic model, love it a lot. Land Raider, good. Havocs are still good. We'll put them a little back. And I'll actually, yeah, we'll put Traitor Guardsmen are still good, but they go very back of the line. Hellbrute, I want to love him, but no. You got a goofy pose going on. Chaos Lord, I'm tempted to put him in needs a refresh, but he's not terrible. Legionaries, could have been much better. Cultists, could have been much better. But not bad. This is the okay range. Yeah, I agree with all that. Needs refresh. All these very much need a refresh. I would agree. Bikers. I could see bikers going in trash. But they're the very definition of needs refresh is a weird thing. But then, is GW going to discontinue them? So, I'll put them in trash here. Hopefully that's not too controversial, but we'll put them bottom. Spawn definitely are trash. Don't buy that model. I hate that kit. I regret the fact that I think I bought 2 kits. $110 I spent on that crap. I kind of regret it. You do get a lot of cool bits. I'll give them that, but just 3D print them. Take that $110, buy a 3D printer. You will not regret it. That's what I would do. And then Huron, while he is again the definition of needs a refresh, I can tell you from looking at him in person, kind of trash. I would avoid that model unless you need to use them for your tournament list or something. That's the only way I'd do it. Anyways, that is the list. Is there anything you guys don't agree with before we go? I think it's pretty fair, honestly. Excuse me. Let me get a sip of coffee before we do the outro. Sorry for coughing in the mic. If I did that, by the way, I really need to get better at that. As always, I really do appreciate you guys coming along. We had more people than yesterday, I'm pretty sure. Before I started the stream, it said there's 6 waiting. I'm oh my god, wow. We only got more as the stream went on, so you guys are all awesome. Dominic, you were amazing. Appreciate you pitching in. Fired, you were also amazing. Peters, appreciate you had really good input. That was great. Francis, thank you for all the input. Peters, excuse me, Thunder, saw you around before. Appreciate you coming around, man. You've been awesome to talk to. Pretty much all of you guys have been really fun to talk to. Ross, you were friendly. Anybody whose name I'm not getting to, I apologize. But really, I really do appreciate you guys. Like, I love you guys. So thanks for coming around. This has been really fun to do, these, reviewing the models, because it's fun, man, to just shoot the breeze and talk about, talk about fun stories from when we played Chaos or what we think about certain stuff. So I think I will do more of these. I'll do, like, World Eaters, Death Guard, Thousand Suns. I think I'll do all those Chaos. Probably do it next weekend. I think weekends are the best to do it. So keep your eyes open for, any, like, notifications about that. As always, if you guys haven't already, do please consider, definitely like the video at the very least. That means a lot to me. And do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget, all you guys who are here right now, don't forget to enter the contest, okay? It's up to you if you want to win a Greater Brass Scorpion of Khorne. But be sure to enter that contest. I think it ends in like 2 days. So just want to be sure that you guys remember to do that. Anyways, as always, if you guys got any questions, any comments, anything you would have changed, like, do leave a comment below. I read every single one. Again, I appreciate you guys coming around. I hope you guys get some good entertainment around this. The channel's been growing. Renegade, so it's a short video. Watch the video. That I'll give you a hint, though, is you leave a comment. So it's like the easiest thing ever to enter. How I'll probably tell people how they won is I'll reply to your comment. Asking for your email, because I'm afraid if I give you my email, somebody might pretend they're you and then email me or whatever. I gotta figure that out, but I think, yeah, I'll reply to your comment asking for your email. I'll send you an email and then you delete your comment if you don't want it out there or whatever. But yeah, watch the video. It has details on how to enter. It's extremely easy. Like I said, hint, leave a comment. And leave a thumbs up too, alright? You gotta do it. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you got any questions. Let me know if you would have changed anything. And otherwise, good luck out there, and hopefully I see you guys next weekend, alright? Stay safe out there.